In the White House, President Eisenhower signs the proclamation that makes Alaska's entry into the Union official, nearly 92 years after Lincoln's Secretary of State bought the territory from the Russian Tsar for $7 million.
The Alaska Wild Project podcast is brought to you by the following sponsors.
Barney's Sports Chalet, supplying hunters with the best hand-selected gear since 1963. The exclusive home of frontier gear built for the rugged Alaskan terrain. Your one-stop shop for all your outdoor needs. Visit Barney's today at 906 West Northern Lights.
Big Rays, the Alaskan outfitter, committed to outfitting Alaskans across the state since 1947. Whether you're a recreator, parent, guide, or corporate buyer, Big Rays has the gear you need, tailored for Alaska's harsh conditions. Check out their new exclusive line of Auralic waders. Big Rays for all your outdoor gear and rugged work attire. BigRays.com.
Tailored Restoration 24-hour emergency home services, helping Alaskans restore their dreams since 1972. Services include fire, water, mold, post-emergency cleaning, repair, and remodeling. Give them a call in Anchorage, Eagle River, Matsu, or Fairbanks. Hit them up at tailoredrestorationalaska.com.
Total Truck and Alaska Overlander, Alaska's premier supplier for custom automotive accessories and overlanding products, providing all-inclusive rental vehicles and trailers custom outfitted to explore the Alaskan backcountry with a unique and convenient traveling experience.
TheTreehouseAK.com, located at 341 Boniface Parkway, Alaska's own and grown cannabis and CBD store. Ask the bud tender what the strain of the day is to get your 10% off. The Treehouse, where the culture lives. AKO Farms, located in Sitka, Alaska, built from the ground up with concentrates as their single motivation, with exclusive products such as their sugar wax, full spectrum diamond sauce cards, and more. Ask your local bud tender about AKO. Marijuana has intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming and addictive. Marijuana impairs concentration, coordination, and judgment. Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence. There are health risks associated with consumption of marijuana. For the use of only by adults 21 and older. Keep out of the reach of children, and marijuana should not be used by women who are pregnant or breastfeeding.
The Bait Shack, located on Ship Creek upstream of the bridge. Can't miss the bright red shack. They are the go-to fishing gear rental and guide service on Ship Creek. Tight lines and fish on. Come hook into the action with them. Hit them up at thebaitshackak.com.
Lawn Pro AK, Alaska's year-round professional property maintenance team. Services include weekly lawn care, custom landscaping, fertilizing, weed control, turf repair, and more. Schedule your free estimate at lawnproak.com.
Alaska's OG cider company, Double Shovel, crafting gluten-free colonial-style ciders founded as a healthier, non-inflammatory brew option. Drop by their Pop and Tap room in Anchorage off of 58th and Arctic or visit the second location in Kodiak. Double Shovel, award-winning ciders.
The Alaska chapter of Backcountry Hunters and Anglers. BHA is the voice of our Alaskan public lands, waters, and wildlife. Their goal is to uphold our hunting and fishing legacy while keeping our public lands wild. Stand up today and join BHA at backcountryhunters.org. Oh man, caught me off guard there.
Sorry, bud.
That's all right. We were just in the zone talking about all the current activity that's going on. Did my sound good? I feel like am I quiet?
Keep talking.
Yeah. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. Yeah, it's getting better.
Nice. You say it backwards. That's what the police do when they pull you over.
Did you?
Jack, hit me with the ABC backwards.
Z, Y, X, V, W, U, V,
Man,
V,
under
U.
pressure.
What is it?
Chad, 7 times 8.
The 56?
Yeah. That's all good.
Man, I was like clunking hard.
That's
a pipe.
Full dad move right there.
But yeah, I was kind of surprised, because I went shooting with Emily maybe 2 weeks before she left. And then she's like, well, I'm just going to go by myself because I can't get anybody to commit. And I'm just going to do my own thing.
Sheep hunting?
Just go up.
Go solo sheep hunting?
Sheep, just mountain hunting in general. And so I was stoked for her because I think a lot of her recent hunts that she's gotten to go do her with, some really great opportunities where things are kind of established to some degree. And so this is a great chance for her to go out and kind of do her own exploring and
scouting
and, and learning and failing and winning and the whole thing that goes along with,
I mean, Upper Huffman's a big area.
beating the streets. Yeah.
It is.
But so yeah, I got a random text from her. I remembered I had her in reach from her grizzly hunt. So I reached out to her a couple days ago and was like, hey, checking in. Hope everything's good. Good luck to you.
Yeah.
And then she hit me back with like, she met with somebody. They went in 19 miles. They have like 20 something days of food, which they obviously are planning to stay a while. And they got on a ram like 60 yards and blew it out. And
was it legal?
She didn't say. She just, it was like, sometimes in-reach messages are limited and kind of chopped or whatever. So
is she hunting archery?
Yeah, she says she was going to take it with the intent to use it depending on like the corridor if she ended up going up into that area. So I asked her, where you headed when she left? And she said, all the way up. And so I kind of smirked and said, okay, smart ass.
That's awesome.
Be safe.
Tippy top.
Yeah. I was like, okay, all right, I'll take that.
That's pretty smart, though. I didn't within the corridor. Oh, so if you went in, you could bring both.
So if
can you do that?
Oh, she's going to the Brooks Range.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if that's where she ended up going or not, but
okay,
you can bow hunt. You can bow hunt right from the road.
It seemed like she didn't have any general locked in.
So that's where the rams are.
As far as Alaska Range or Brooks, she was going north.
Well, couldn't you see on the inReach?
She didn't send me
a location. If I saw me coming with a bow, I'd be like,
she's smart.
Not even worried.
But
those bison you can get. Can you shoot those right? Because I've seen two right on the river right there.
Muscox?
Or the Muscox, I mean.
That's that new tag.
Yeah, that's archery?
I mean,
yeah. If you're within 5 miles
of the tag, actually.
Is that that draw is in archery, canceled. Right?
I think it is, yeah.
That lake
but is it in that zone?
Yeah.
Is it lower? Yeah. It's the whole thing?
It's a canceled permit. They're not doing it anymore.
It's not.
It's all over.
Yeah.
Yep.
It didn't work out.
So I know, but when they did have it open, was it the whole thing?
No one got any.
Well, I asked. I asked because remember when we saw the muskox?
Two fucking permits.
When we saw the muskox, the biologist was stunned that we saw one that far south.
Oh, right, yeah, because you were on the south side, yeah.
And so now, there's so many that they opened to hunt. No,
I think they go further north, and there wasn't any there, so they closed it.
Yeah, I think we shouldn't have lied to them.
Do not apply for it. It's not.
You can't even apply for it anymore.
Yep.
It's
don't
done.
do it. You're just wasting your $5.
I think that one's like $150. So.
It's more.
Even worse.
It's extra.
All that money. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
just inflating.
Yeah. Where's that? Rec.gov?
yeah. Utah.gov. What is it? Nunavik.
Bison.
Nunavik.
The muskox hunt that didn't exist.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. It was just conceptualized.
They're easy to spot. That's for sure.
Have you seen one up close?
The Tatanka?
Yeah. I've seen them real close.
Fucking Tatankas, baby.
I saw more of them than I saw caribou.
Pretty tasty for people wondering what it tastes like. Because I remember Wes brought those sliders when we used to have the meat party at my house.
No, he just brought them. You cooked them.
I cooked it?
Yeah. Because I was like, dude, what did you put on this? You're like, salt and pepper? I was like, you looked at me funny, and I was like, dude, that's the best burger I've ever had.
Nice.
Trent gave him that.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
Trent gave that from his buddy.
I made that on the grill.
He couldn't go. You just made him a couple burgers. It wasn't a lot.
That's right.
Only
that's
2
right.
pounds of meat, but you made a bunch of burgers, and that
sounds delicious.
I was like, okay. So this is why a muskox tag is $1,200 for a resident.
Yeah,
It's
good.
Really good.
It does. How much meat comes off that?
Got to be a lot.
Yeah, you'd
think. It's a good question.
They're not very tall.
I always wondered
that. Be at least 300 pounds, though.
Yeah, I agree.
I didn't. Yeah. I think there's less meat on them than what appears just.
It's like a wet cat. You just get them wet and it's nothing under there.
Well, no, I don't mean maybe that.
Well, they're like a cow, so they're going to be like a buffalo, where a lot of that mass is stomachs
and the front shoulders.
So that they're not like a moose. I mean, I think a buffalo
I
still
think Jack's getting a
gives
doing
close
some
to the
research.
same amount.
Is this we starting off with the trivia? Should I hit the button or what?
All right, guys. All right.
We're gonna change the
Trivia
show up,
number
ladies
one.
and gentlemen, starting with trivia.
Oh, don't tell us right here.
No, I already searched it, dude.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, okay,
we're
all
doing
right.
some trivia, man. All right, you guys,
Okay,
you're about to go
okay.
muskox hunting. So how much does a muskox weigh, male? And roughly how much does it dress out to?
Okay, I'm gonna say on the bone for
Like live
Whole
weight?
nine, live weight,
and then dressed out.
live weight is 650 pounds. Dressed, I'm gonna say 225.
I'm going to say
Oh hell, not even that much.
800 pounds live weight. And I'd say 350 pounds.
I'm gonna go live weight 900, dressed out 3.
All
The
right.
trivia music is just
So we had
hitting right
300s. Anyway, so yeah, 800 pounds. Nice, Chad.
now. Okay.
And then 275 of meat.
Ooh,
This is from the
I went
ADFG
over.
website for muskox hunting.
What does it say in moose? 1,200 and
I didn't.
500?
Have you been to the Muscox Farm?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
no, but I've been to
the one out right there in Palmer.
No.
You
I've
should
been
go,
to
dude.
the
You should take your
wildlife
girl
place.
out there. No, that one, because you can walk around and they're like,
No, I took Jamie for our anniversary to. They do it behind the scenes out
oh,
there
at the
for like $100.
conservation.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well worth $100.
really.
Dude, you go back there and you get to be with them when they're like working with the animals.
You get to
Jimmy
ride it?
Dreesen told me about it because he went there.
You get to ride
He
him?
got to go in there when they fed the bear. The bear does no sign language, but Jamie got to feed a baby muskox.
But I'm saying you go to the Muscox Farm and you see one of these little guys right here.
Yeah,
Oh,
You'd be
man.
like,
yeah. Jamie got to feed that thing.
with the bottle.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
it's,
cute.
and there it's like it was headbutting this other girl that was back there.
That'll change your life
So picking her up off the ground in the ass, thinking just I know you're a mom, so get over here.
Yeah. You know, one time I was there with my kids when they're little. Like Noah was like 1. And they had these elk there, and there was like a young bull. And I was by the fence, and that fence ain't. I mean, it's like a really big square wire fence,
Yeah,
which ain't shit.
It's just
You know what I'm
like
saying?
rebar
And I'm
wire.
like close to the thing, and I pick him up because he wants to see better. I put him on my shoulders. That thing turned and just rammed the fence, dude, like right at me, like try to get me.
with a handful of knives.
And the things went through. Like, you know,
Swords.
just went through the thing. I'm
Oh,
like,
it's,
man.
its horns went through.
yeah, man. Because it looked at me and it did like a pawed its foot real quick, and then it just boom, just barreled into it.
We had the same
Dug
thing
in?
walking around with the family, and the buffalo herded up
Ooh.
like 6 feet back from the fence, and we were like kind of standing there. I wasn't really paying attention to it, and this truck pulls up, and the guy's like, "You need to get back like now." He's like, "You see right there?" I was like, "Oh yeah, we should keep it moving, family." Because it's exactly, that's all it is that little it's like what we use it's like wire mesh for pouring slabs.
Yeah, dude. Like,
It
they
ain't
can run
much.
through that thing if they want
It's,
to.
I believe definitely 25 buffalo pissed off could for sure.
Yeah.
That one bull muskox, we got fairly
Oh,
close
dude,
encounter.
that
He
is
gave you the
still
stink.
side-eyeing you.
He gave you the stink eye.
Oh, they were on your side of the truck. Oh, my side.
That was your side.
Oh, you guys had an encounter on the.
He was stinking.
Yeah,
On the
we,
Caribou?
we had a full family out in the middle of the road, and they were running and flowing in the sun, and finally the bull's kind of confused. Actually, I think that maybe the older female out of that group actually got the family off the road, and then the bull kind of came in behind, and they were like bull, like maybe a mom, another young female, almost as big as her, and then 2 babies. So it was like looked like a full family,
Yeah.
and the bull was just clearly fucking hoss compared to those other, just in comparative to like what a big mature bull looks like. He clearly was a specimen. Anyway, they got off the road, and Chad had his window down and threw up the deuces at him, and he was just like, He was just fucking big ass horn sticking out. He looked angry, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Red demon eye
Me
just staring
fucking
at you.
running on the road, you know. I was like, he ain't trying to run around.
Yeah.
No, I was like, dude, just get off the road, man. Like, I don't want
We
you
were-
like
I mean, we
coming
were
up
so
and like keying my car.
Gentle and slow and like real patient with them, you
Can
know.
opener.
Yeah.
It was a really cool scene to see them like their hair just flowing and they're running.
Yeah.
Because they kind of look goofy running.
Yeah.
They don't look like a critter that wants to run a lot.
Yeah.
They
Look
look like they just want to
like
just.
they should be on the Muppets, man.
Yeah. Muppets or Star Wars.
What's
or
the
some
top
shit.
speed?
100%.
Can we do? Can we?
Ooh,
can
yeah,
we? Can we
let's
do the
look
top
up-
speeder?
Muscox.
Well, I was doing 45. Just joking. I definitely was not. We were going like 3 miles an hour.
I have it on the shirt.
Ooh, yeah. All right.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say top speed 44.
That seems fast.
44 miles an hour.
44 miles.
That
Okay.
seems-
44.
that seems too
Damn.
fast. No, I'm saying 30 miles an hour. Because a human
Top
can run like
speed
27, right?
Muscox is going to run 18 miles per hour.
37.
Dude, damn.
Pretty fast.
I'm disrespecting that bad chicken,
Yeah,
dude.
pretty fast.
Wow.
Probably for very
My
short
bad.
distances. So I wonder if they're like bison, where the lead cow is like the one that is in control of the herd and the herd's movements.
I think so.
That would make sense then why you guys saw it go off the road with the cow.
I think elk are kind of like that too.
I believe it.
I mean, the bull controls stuff during the rut because he's like not letting them leave. But I'm pretty sure that's if you can identify her in the herd, then you know like when they're gonna bolt, when they're not. If she don't get up, you're good.
That seems like a good strategy.
Yeah. That's
I like
like
that.
that's how you do at Coots back in the day.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
the herd bull or
You
herd,
identify the herd
cow.
bull.
The herd cow.
Separate
So,
it.
Daniel, I sent you the video.
Right,
Cowgirl.
herd cow.
Sent you the
Yeah.
video of the.
Sorry, all you young guys, you missed the heydays of the Coots.
It's never going to be the same.
No.
Ever.
I just found out Duran doesn't like he's gone.
I thought he sold it to employees, right?
Yeah, but
We're supposed to have
was
him
still,
on?
He was still GMing it, and now he's like
We need to get him on
he's
here.
consulting.
No,
Duran.
Yeah.
I had
Oh,
talked to
that'd be-
Mike Gordon
Oh.
No.
Oh, that's
and bought some
yeah.
of his books. And,
We want
mean-
Duran.
yeah, Duran.
well, I was really interested in
Mike Gordon.
Mike's Gordon's climbing and mountain and ice climbing career. Like he had a
He
pretty,
got 6 of the 7 peaks.
yeah.
I don't know if
Did
he
you
ever
pull that
got
up,
Everest.
Daniel?
I got it.
He may have
Yeah.
even
Go ahead
got
and play
Everest.
it.
Yeah,
Oh.
no, play the video. It says Muscox running. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I listened to a podcast and these dudes called them tundra slugs.
Oh,
something like
really?
that. Yeah. I kind of get what they meant by that after glassing them for days.
Tundra Wookie.
Yeah, no kidding. Dude, I could imagine a Wookiee writing that right now. And I'd be like, oh, this is
like
a
little
sci-fi movie.
Ewok on the back, right?
Oh, yeah.
Is it the internet that's why it's so like patchy?
Patchy? Oh, on
Yeah.
the TV, yeah.
I
mean,
mean, it
it's on
sounds like
beat,
they're
but-
running, and that's not the sound
It's
of
like
them running.
it's a gallop.
Yeah.
I know it's
It's got that gallop track going on.
You see how the bull's confused and they're like bumping into him and shit. The babies are just like just getting pinned
That
in
was how
between.
small the group was?
Yeah, this particular group. I mean, there's much larger groups that we saw during our hunt, but this was when we were leaving, and they
Getting
were
into
actually
the
pretty far
foothills.
south.
Yeah, we're getting into the foothills there.
Yeah, we were up.
And you'll see the bull.
man.
He
Stink
looks.
eye.
He's
Yeah.
like, "Arr." But it was a beautiful afternoon and morning when we left and started headed back. It was pretty sick.
When we were up there on the slope, there was this herd of muskox. I don't know, probably like 12 of them. And they just had 3 newborn babies.
cool.
And then this grizzly bear came up. And they kind of like grouped up in the circle, and then this one of the little babies ran right at the grizzly bear, and then the next one, and the next one, and the grizzly bear just
Swatted them all down.
all the young within like 30 seconds
Wow.
for the whole group. It was vicious. There's a video floating around of that.
You know, that area is kind of crazy. Now finally getting to see that North Slope section.
It doesn't look like Alaska.
Yeah. It
You're like,
reminded me
where
of
am
like
I?
it was like Nebraska or
Yeah.
fucking Kansas or some shit.
Yeah, super flat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I just couldn't believe the amount of people that were moving there.
What?
Yeah, there was U-Haul trucks everywhere. Crazy.
I knew something was coming.
Cheap rent or something.
Fucking U-Haul, 1995 a day, all up and down the highway.
Did you guys have a U-Haul?
No.
I mean, we may as well. We probably would have got a Caribou if we had a U-Haul.
They run right at it.
I told myself I will
DIY.com.
never. I mean, I'm going to really try to hold to this never part. Renting a U-Haul out of state or doing anything where I rent a U-Haul as my mode of transportation because of that. Disrespect to the hunter.
I'll rent a U-Haul, but I won't.
You got to haul some stuff.
I won't use it during my stock, which is like what they're doing.
As a piece
What?
of the equipment.
Dude,
They're like hiding behind the U-Haul when the herd comes by or something?
I mean, no, they're
there's
just chasing
many different
caribou with
things.
the U-Haul.
Hiding going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of
They cut out little
they're
things in
chasing.
the back and then these in the back.
the DC sniper shot. If
Just go by.
I mean, I wouldn't have been surprised if we would have seen a U-Haul with
A guy's just laying prone
a
on
gun
top.
slot in the side. It would not surprise me one bit. It wouldn't have.
So you guys saw a lot of people?
Yeah,
You wanna get into
quite a few
this?
Groups. Yeah, I mean, I believe we are recording a podcast, which is
Okay,
a
let's talk about it.
conversation.
Let's talk about it.
about amazing stuff.
So you guys-
reload on cocktails for this.
Yeah, I'm gonna need another beer real quick.
Well, for our listeners, we are going to recap a bucket list Alaskan, pretty unique hunting opportunity that is available to resident, non-resident, which we did get to experience that. Found that interesting. Chad and I hunted the Dalton Highway, Unit 26 north of the Yukon River.
AKA the Hall Road, now called the.
U-Haul Road.
Well, no. We can't do it dirty. Like it's the Hall
no.
Road's the Hall Road's long.
Yeah.
But from Pump Station 2 to Dead Horse, that is definitely the U-Haul Road.
There you go.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
They should put up a sign says you are now leaving the Dalton Highway and entering the U-Haul Highway.
I'm glad you said that because you don't want to take anything away
Hell
from
no.
the beauty and epicness
Amazing
of the country
drive.
that
Everyone
you go.
that lives here should drive that at least
Yeah.
once in their life.
Yeah. Make sure you have
Beautiful.
some decent tires on your truck.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Before we get into that, can we just quickly tell us how you're?
Oh, you
Jack,
want me to
you're-
go on
you're-
mine
Yeah.
first? Damn.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's just do yours quick, and then we'll take a break because there's going to be a little longer. I
So
think.
first off, I was a confused idiot because, like, he posts a video of you guys flying, and I'm thinking they're like doing a scout mission
Oh,
before you leave, and that you guys were leaving for the hunt. And he's
Yeah,
like,
we went
"No,
in."
man, you don't remember? I'm like,
well, we're
"Fuck,
in a
dude."
group text, and he's like asking you questions, and I'm like, he's not. Gonna
Oh, yeah, I
answer,
saw
dude.
that
He
when
just
I-
sent you
when
a
I got
picture of
back.
him in the airplane.
yeah, I saw that when I came back. I was laughing.
Scouting,
Oh,
dude.
that's funny.
He's like, what?
I'm like,
Yeah.
oh shit.
He's like, what's the date? It's like,
We,
it's like, it's go time.
How do you not know
it just
this?
worked out where I have I have twins, so they were down with the grandma. So and then this trip was about archery on Dall Sheep for Jake. So yeah, we went early so we could get deep and spend some time glassing, and we kind of expected it to be the area to have had a few hard sheep winners, like 8-9 years ago. I wasn't anticipating like the last two winners to be so bad on them, which is something that there's a few of us gonna talk to the biologist for that area, the sheep biologist, and just kind of let them know.
This looks like where we went.
It does kind of. This kind of looks like that, yeah.
Well,
Like
So
exactly.
this river
glacial moraines kind of all
looks like glaciers and mountains. This is
Yeah.
where we went.
Yeah.
That looks very familiar. Like, does it?
So this is at the end
Is
of
that river?
like a big river system for sure.
Looks
Yeah,
juicy.
I think between there's a valley that is to Jake's right there in that picture.
Mhm.
Then there's another side valley behind us, and then there's 3 up above that. And in all those valleys combined, I think there's 17 glaciers. So
wow. That's a great picture.
yeah, so this we hunted up the right drainage and the left. That picture in the left drainage is way in the back. The last picture, it's way back
Around the corner there?
Yeah, in that mountain that we're looking
That
at.
looks really juicy.
As those glaciers there. Actually, we're in the bowl with the left glacier in the back. That's where that is taken from. So it's around the corner to the left.
Are you wearing gaiters, Jack?
So those are Brandon's gaiters.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
I thought you didn't wear gaiters.
I don't.
Is that duct tape on the side?
Yeah, those are that's duct tape. One of them doesn't have a snap, and then the other one, I think Brandon's foot is smaller than mine, so it doesn't like buckle right, but it's enough to like keep the water out.
Those Thundershed fucking Sitka gators of that year, those things were trash.
Oh, I mean, they've been working good for me.
Well, they got duct tape on them.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, no, so thank you, Brandon, because I would never have bought a pair of
I've
gators.
ran through some gators, dude.
Yeah.
That's a cool picture.
Yeah,
they never
that was a
last.
fun day. I like hiking around a lot. Anyway, so yeah, we went in early. This was like, we didn't have nice weather like some of these pictures. I think that's when I chose to take out the camera, but there's like rain like 10 probably 90% of the time, and then we get these quick short blue sky days or moments in the day and drought gear. But we went in early. I was expecting the area to not like hold the healthy sheep population they had like maybe like 30 or 20 years ago, but I thought that it would be like 60% of like what I've seen in there before. And so
still some numbers.
So flying into this area, I talked to a few of the guys that all have gone in there with me in the past, my dad included, and we think we see about 150 lambs and ewes on this trip in. I mean, we're 5.5 hours from Anchorage in a Super Cub, but the particular trip up the drainage, like 25 minutes, like see 150 lambs and ewes.
It's a cool
And in 6 trips or 6 flights, so 3 round trip flights into the area, in and out in the area, we saw 3 total sheep. So usually you would see, we'd say, hey man, what's healthy? It's 150. I was expecting to see like 90, and we saw 3, and only those 3 on one trip. Yeah, and this is like flying a Super Cub. Great visibility. I have binoculars in the back, and I only saw 3 sheep. And then, with all the boot time, we looked into about 38 bowls, looked into multiple drainages, tons of saddle work. We saw 2 groups of 6 lambs and ewes, no rams. And, they looked haggard. The lambs and ewes, bad. They did not look good. And when we listened to the Dall Sheep biologists and like, the predation out there and the bad winters and stuff, but the golden eagles were fucking with these sheep the whole time. So there was one group of 6 that had 2 lambs and 4 ewes. And every time we saw those sheep, because we kind of came back by that spot a couple times, this golden eagle is fucking with them. So I don't know, I think that area's been hit hard, and you can just see, like, if the golden eagle's just sticking on this one group, there must not be a lot of other sheep around for him to try to pick from.
Number one killer of sheep.
Yeah.
Golden eagles.
Yeah. So I don't know when they're going to open raptor hunting, but yeah. So it was pretty good trip. We got the TP is definitely tried and true. We got the
you busted out the black diamond.
Yeah, we got the black diamond light.
Ooh, do you have a picture of that on here? No.
I have a good picture. I can send it to you.
What did Jake think of that?
He didn't like that the bugs could get in. Yeah, but then by the end of the trip, he really liked it, just because you could keep your gear in there, So he had one side, I had the other side. All the gear was under there. The thing that I didn't think,
bugs really that bad?
They're pretty bad.
Yeah,
not like slope bad, not
in the drainages.
Yeah.
Down low.
Yeah. If anywhere that there's green in the bottom of a drainage, so
and there'd just be like monarch rams just chilling in there.
We mostly stayed in the top end of different drainages, but down near water, so that it was easy to I don't know easy, but you could pop around pretty successfully. So yeah, we camped here one night. Anyway, these recovery Hoka shoes to have after the wearing the boots all day, those were amazing. So what I was telling you about the teepee, this fucking ground squirrel. So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna put my sleeping bag and everything in bags. So everything's in bags except for my coffee cups out, and then my sleeping pad. And this fucking ground squirrel came in, and there must be like 40 little shit pellets all over my.
Those sons of bitches.
Shit in your coffee cup?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So
They're little assholes.
dude, they are. It was fucked up.
They never had them till
they make it fucking personal, dude.
She
They make it
went
real
with
personal.
him. He left the tent unzipped, just like let it air out. And we came back, put my boots on, like my after
In my
camp
sleeping
shoes.
bag, bro. They
Put fucking
shit
turds in
my
them,
sleeping bag.
shit in his sleeping bag.
Oh, it's fucked up.
They
So
nibbled the toe on my fucking on my Crocs.
I murdered one, and then they stopped going around.
Nice. It did.
Yeah.
The only thing that it ate through, because we had everything in like pretty good compression sacks, including sleeping bags. So it shit on my coffee cup, in my coffee cup, on my lid, which I had out onto the side, and they were clean. I just had them there like drying out, and then all over my pad. When I put my backpack, when I got back to the tent, it was raining, so I just threw my backpack on, not looking, onto the shit. And then it got like on the waist belt, and I have the nastiest rash all the way around my body from that fucking shit because I couldn't get it out, and
The
it's
old
just like waving in there.
fecal waste.
Yeah, dude, it's like flesh-eating bacteria all over my. Yeah, so I got this hydrocortisone soda cream with me.
A fecal rash.
Fecal rash.
Fecal rash.
And
Little,
from little shithead squirrel guy.
Those little
What do you
whistle
do?
pigs are like the worst, dude.
Yeah, they suck, dude. They suck.
They're little cannibals too, man. They eat their own. I don't trust any animal.
So what
that
you do
just
is you
eats
take one
something
out
like
and
that.
leave them there for his friends.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
You smash one in front of them all. The biggest one.
Put it in your
just like
mouth
bullies,
house.
man. Just like
go
bullies.
find the bully.
Yeah.
Just punch
The first one
biggest
to approach.
Yeah.
The
Biggest
first one to
one.
approach the campsite.
Yep.
Yeah, so then we saw a ton
take
of
'em
grizzly
out?
bears. So we saw 6 grizzly
really?
bears. Yeah.
Oh no shit.
Yep, and then
Wolves?
four caribou. A lot of wolf prints, but no wolves. They, those guys, they're elusive. Yeah,
Saw like sow and cubs or just
2 sow and
singular-
cubs. Yeah,
Okay.
2 groups, both had like mega sows with them.
We saw
Oh,
a baby
awesome.
wolf, dude,
Oh, you did?
by itself,
Where?
side of the road,
Yeah, pup.
staring at us. Black,
Wasn't that
solid
coyote?
jet black.
Oh, really?
It was
Jet black,
absolutely a
blue
wolf,
eyes.
Dude, you didn't bring home a pet?
bro. It was
I
very.
was like, dude, should I turn around?
sudden.
He's like, well, there's a
hauling
mom
ass.
somewhere. I was like, true.
Yeah.
It felt like like something had already crossed.
I thought it
And,
was
like,
a fox.
he was kind of like behind or something, so he popped out.
Had like, it
And
was a
he
wolf.
wasn't scared of the truck ripping by. He was just kind of like, woo,
He just watched us
truck
go
went
by.
Yeah.
Oh,
But I was like,
around.
I pointed. I was like, wolf
what's
pup,
that? Yeah.
beautiful black,
pretty
blue
amazing.
eyes.
Wasn't a black fox?
No, I
was
thought
wolf.
it was
No,
a
it was a
fox.
wolf- it
No,
was
I
a
had
wolf
blue
pup.
eyes, dude.
It was a puppy, dude. It
Rode
looked like
by
a puppy
it, and
husky.
it was like short. It wasn't like, yeah. I thought it was a fox at first because we'd seen a couple fox.
I got a really good look at it. Like I honed in on
This
it.
was
when we walked
not
by.
a fox. This was definitely a wolf puppy.
Oh, that's cool.
It was
So-
crazy.
So
What a great
this
landing
is
video.
this is the landing coming into camp, and Jake is just like an incredible Super Cub pilot. I mean, he'll sit there and be like, "Hey, this is exactly what I'm going to do." He'll walk through everything that's going through his mind out loud to me as he lands, and he'll be like, "Hey, this is how far into the runway I think I'll land." And man, he same thing with takeoffs. Like he would nail like exactly on the runway where he thought he was going to take off, and man, he was really awesome.
Great communication too, huh?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
someone like me asking a lot of questions. I like to be in control, so it's probably rough for him because I don't have the knowledge or skills that he has.
You're
so,
relying on him.
right. So a lot of questions for sure. At one point, he was like, "Jack, you ask a lot of questions," and I was like, "Oh, have you met Paxton?" And he was like, "Yeah, I watched a movie with him once." That was
like-
funny.
Ooh, a little
Yeah.
sketchy river
That
cross.
looks,
So-
that looks familiar.
So this is the reason I put this in here. So Jake picked up these waders. They weigh like less than a pound, and these were awesome. So
those like knee-high boot things?
Wiggies.
they are Wiggies.
Yeah,
they're
they're
Wiggy
Wiggies.
waders.
We used them too. Well,
Yeah.
I used them.
And
Brandon
then
got wet.
No, man, I just
So-
walk it dry, baby.
I
Tell
was
him,
like-
Brandon,
And then
how
we
you
would
do. You
just-
just plow, dude. Plow
we'd
right
wear our
in there.
Crocs in them,
Systematic
so
walk
you
and
have
dry.
like good bottom. Like we wouldn't wear our boots in them.
Oh.
I wore my
Okay.
boots. But
That we wore them out. Like your boots would be soaked. You know.
Oh yeah, they're not. They're not like you ain't fishing in them.
Yeah.
They're not watertight.
They're just made for getting. They're better than gators.
Yeah. Oh, way better.
There's a Wiggy overboots, or what are they technically?
Yeah.
Wiggy overboot waders.
Yeah.
So we did it
Neos
smaller
make
than
some
that,
too, but those are like they don't weigh nothing.
and then we would just put our Crocs in and wear across. So then
That's pretty slick.
You know, yeah, those
That's
are awesome.
what
And you
you
can
do.
throw and we'll only bring one pair. Put a rock in it, throw it back across the river.
Don't put a rock in it
Why?
because if your boy can't catch, or you can't throw, could be either of
Wait,
you.
wait.
then,
And that rock lands
In the river?
on rocks,
uh-huh.
it pinches it, and then that guy goes and he's like, "What the fuck? I'm getting soaked."
All right.
And we realized that there was like, as many times as you wrapped it, there was holes like all the way down.
Oh man! All right, we didn't realize that.
So just be careful.
Yeah.
And each person should just carry their own pair.
No,
stick
no,
in
we
it.
brought one.
I know that's
Yeah.
a really great idea. I love that. It's
Yeah.
minimalist, all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Unless
You're crossing the Sag River,
and there's
it's like 200
Oh,
yards
yeah,
wide.
they
and
do have
Brett
to bring it
Favre's
out.
not throwing it
Yeah,
back to you.
yeah.
I was like, well, Chad, you're not throwing the waders back to me. I'm just going in.
Yeah.
And I was thigh high
Yeah.
walking through water.
Which was fine because it was 60
Fucking
degrees out.
Walk them dry until
But
Chad smelt my boots.
It will.
Oh.
Well, this dude is trying.
You don't do what my mom used to do?
No.
Just put the cars bag on your foot?
No. Well, that wouldn't have helped Brandon anyway. But Brandon tried to blame his brand new Stone Glacier socks. He's like, man,
things stink,
these
bro.
socks really stink, though. That's the only problem. He's like, they're great socks, but they really stink. I was like,
don't know what their
those are the
problem
new
is.
ones you got? He's like, yeah. I was like, dude, there's no way that's your sock, man. Like, I was like, walk 'em dry, got twins over here. Like, dude, that's your boot.
Yeah.
Walk them dry, baby.
I was like,
That
you
boot
can't
is
even put those
nasty.
boots in the tent.
Oh, you
man.
still got
No.
those same
Smell like
Paracorums?
fucking death. No,
Those
those are
Crispies are
those are
crispy.
Oh, the Crispies?
Those Crispies are clapped.
Yeah.
Yes.
What they are. He carried those into my garage when he dropped me off. He's like, bro, those smell like shit and death.
I think I said a bum's balls.
That's bad. Like Flamunda cheesy
Yeah.
kind. Like gross.
You do not need to know what a bum's balls smell like to know
Everyone's listening.
that it's just
Smells
really
it
bad.
right now.
Yeah. They're like,
You might be gagging. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You might be gagging.
So the other cool thing was when we landed in Farewell on the way back and we're shuttling gear, it was like 80 degrees. So I was
Oh,
just
wow.
like hanging on the runway in my underwear. But
that's
when we
a sight.
came in, we got to go around Pyramid, and I could pinpoint the exact spot that Ryan shot the.
Ryan.
Ryan that shot the buffalo. David, thank you.
David.
That
David
shot the
Brophy.
bison with the bow, but it went right over. It was really cool to see
that's
that
awesome.
after like hearing the story and seeing
Wow,
the pictures.
yeah.
So I enjoyed that part.
is that on the burn over there?
Yeah, right at the base. He shot it between Pyramid Mountain and what is it? The Kuskokwim. Yeah,
That's cool.
so yeah, it was really cool to see that. Yeah, I mean, it was no doubt. You after watching the video, you can tell exactly where he was.
Yeah. That's cool.
Oh, and then I got to see all the bison. So that was
The same
rad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, they
Sick.
were a little northwest of there because we flew out to get gas. So
How many were there?
man, we probably saw there was like 4 groups all within like maybe like a square mile of each other, and there's probably like 40 at least. At
Total
least.
or in each?
No, total that I could see.
Yeah, that's cool.
There's way more out there. And then I would always heard that like moose don't like to go around them, but there was 2 big bull moose near them.
Oh, them big bulls.
some
don't
big
give a
bulls
fuck
out
about
there.
nothing.
No.
Yeah,
Ain't worried about it.
yeah.
We saw a
Oh,
nice.
they probably
We
just-
saw a nice moose.
Oh, that's right. We did.
I forgot all about that.
On the south side, or
Yeah. I
Way up
Yeah,
on there in
yeah.
Nebraska?
Not long after we passed. It
We
was
were over-
probably
we were
in
over
the
the Yukon.
middle. We were
We
past
were
the
over the
Yukon
Yukon.
for a little
Yeah.
bit. It was, dude. It was gonna be a big moose.
You have a picture of it?
Yeah, I do.
he's still growing. He
got
had,
a
like,
video.
4 or 5 brow tines. It was pretty
Nice.
wide already.
what milepost was it at? Just so all the listeners get their
it was
U-Hauls
like
ready.
It was like
Right
2 miles
there.
past the Upper Huffman.
Right there.
Go get your U-Haul.
It was pretty cool to see because we've run up there a few times, and we were always hoping to see a moose or see some other wildlife, and and to actually see what he was walking right down the road at us.
Yeah.
What's crazy when you hike back in those, like when we went sheep hunting back there, you just be seeing moose shit. You see evidence. We never seen a moose, but like damn,
it's like wintering grounds.
Yeah, they're probably wintering in those valleys.
Yeah. Was there willows?
Cows.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what they do out at hatchers.
Yeah.
Just groups of them. Petersville, you see them snow machine all the time, run into herds of like 20, 30 cows.
Yeah, on the riverbeds mostly.
I think they got
Smaller
hammered
bulls.
though. The last 2 winters out
I
there.
bet, man.
They
I heard
been struggling.
Unit 16, the moose disappeared.
It wouldn't surprise me, man. I mean, I rode Petersville the last couple of years, and it's been
We flew over
deep.
it. There wasn't many.
And I would see them out there, and I would just
Here it is right
stay
here,
as
guys.
far away as we could.
So we missed it. It got off the road before we could get the.
Before I do
camera
this, I'm
on.
gonna
Oh, that's the bull.
Yeah.
do the audio because I feel like there's some kind of call coming in here.
You might be right.
I thought I saw something.
That's some hand gestures that was leading to a call.
Let me.
Did we?
Oh, why isn't this
You
connected?
did.
I made some noise.
You got him to turn around and look at us for a second.
Sexy.
Yeah, it was a
Guess
good one.
not. Okay. Guess not. Sorry, folks.
Oh, wait, hold on a minute. Is it possible that by, hold on. Hold on before you start.
There he is.
Oh, yeah. Definitely got some front hair gear there.
Oh, yeah. No,
It's hard to say. It's hard to see because he's in the woods, but when he
Oh,
turns
yeah.
here, you'll know when he turns.
yeah, he's like
And
a
he's
4x5.
He's got that big hanging goat,
Oh, yeah.
wide. Dude, he was so
He's still growing like
gorgeous.
an inch a day, probably.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And man, when you see moose right now in velvet in August, dude, they're fucking like they're
Front heavy.
velvet matches their hide color.
Oh, yeah.
And they're so healthy where they like shed the winter coat and they've been like swimming in lakes or
they're
ponds
dark.
and they kind of like refresh their hides.
Yeah.
And dude, chocolate, shiny, fucking beautiful bull, dude. He was almost kind of like fawny red, actually. He was very like light brown, like light chocolate, but God, they're just gorgeous. Man, wouldn't it be nice to get a bull in velvet? Love it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the only time, second time I've ever seen a big bull in velvet.
Yeah, that would have
The only
been
other time
a
was
potential archery opportunity.
that big dude that got killed by a car a couple years ago. That used to always be around the airport in Kincaid.
yeah.
The big drop time.
Yeah.
He
I've
got
seen
smacked?
I've seen him. In
Now, let me ask you
velvet out
this.
there,
If a big
on that
bull
bridge.
gets killed on a road kill, do you get to keep the rack? Do you put the rack up? If you get called, like
if you're on the road, kill this.
yeah, and you get the call up to come clean it up and do it.
I think
you
you
get
get.
everything.
You get the whole thing.
I think you get the animal.
You slide it up on your trailer and bring
But-
it home.
Okay, but the question is,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you
as you personally,
Do you hang it up on the wall?
yeah,
Hell yeah, dude.
hell yeah, okay.
Hell yeah.
I mean, it depends.
I don't know if I'd hang it on the wall, but I definitely would keep it.
Yeah.
5 brow tine, Haas.
I would definitely keep it.
I mean, if it was like
Yeah,
that famous
tell the
one
story
that
of
went
it.
to Turnagain and
Yeah.
ate all the apples and got drunk and all that stuff, hell yeah, you know, it has a good story.
Hey,
to
hey,
it.
look, harvest is a harvest, boys and girls.
Do you guys know
Guys,
anyone
gals.
that's is on that list?
Yeah, I
and
know a
gotten
couple
it?
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too, but I don't know anyone who's ever gotten a bull.
Oh no,
I don't know about
yeah.
that.
And if they did, and then people I do know, it would be in like winter, and so
And
it
they're
wouldn't
getting
have
shed.
any
Right.
be shed already.
Most
I
of them
don't
are the
ever.
winter.
I don't rarely ever hear of moose kill. My buddy Bruce was on the list for years, and he never told me stories of summertime call outs.
It's always in the
There's
winter.
always dead winter fucking.
Maybe they don't
January.
even call it
Bullshit.
summer
There's
'cause
got to
the
be
meat
summer,
would be
dude.
bad or
You
something.
drive that between Soldotna and right
Homer?
past Soldotna and Homer, dude.
Lots
After 8 p.m.
yeah, moose
No matter
30.
when it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, we probably saw,
But there ain't never seen a bull
We
there,
probably
though.
saw 3 spots on the road up to
Oh really?
Dead Horse that were moose kills. I don't know
Yeah.
if they were bulls, but they were definitely moose kills.
Yeah,
The hot tip on that list.
There was
is-
one still on the side of the road.
That hot tip on that list is don't sign up your like whole family at the same time. Because what I always hear is like the first time people they sign up, but then they like call their brother and their dad and everyone, put their wife on it, and then they get the call, and then they get the call again, and then again, and then again in this really short period of time. So you gotta like get on it, and then the next person gets on it like a couple days later, like space it out a little bit.
You get 3 in a row, 3 days.
Yeah.
Nate got the one from Alaska. They had to shoot at the quad.
Oh, really? What happened?
Oh, it was like chasing people in the line.
Oh, really?
During
middle of
season?
winter. Middle of winter. People like skiing up, and this moose was like, it was chasing the chairlift operator.
So they went and shot it?
The shotgun.
Really?
Yeah, right there.
Right there.
In front of everybody?
Yeah.
No
Nate's
way.
Like, I got so much shit. I'll pull this right out.
What?
Oh,
And then they gave it,
stand
they
back.
dropped it to Nate with a loader.
Oh, that's
Like right in the back of
awesome.
his truck. Boom. Like 2 shotgun blasts to the broadside.
Damn.
Yeah.
How do you get it out then?
How do you get it
With
out?
the winch and your side by side or something?
yeah,
Drive
probably
under
just
a tree.
quarter it in the back.
Out of
right in
sight.
the
He
back of
lived
the truck?
he lived in Indiana at the time. He just pulled it out of the back. Had
say
it.
tie it to a
Well,
tree
you don't
and
just
drive.
pull it out of the back.
No, you tie it to a tree and drive off.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Or lift
Gotcha,
it over
gotcha.
a branch and get it like hanging.
He definitely didn't lift it.
How could you
That
do
would be
that?
nice.
He drug it
Over
out
a
of the back
tree?
of the thing.
A whole moose?
I mean, there's a big tree. I don't know.
But I
What
went.
are you going to use? A winch?
I went to visit him at the fire department, and I pulled up, dude, and I was like, I didn't even know about it, and I was like, hey man, there's like, I don't know, 20 ravens in the back of your truck right now. like you're gonna, like, you might want to go run them off, because you're gonna be washing shit off that truck for a day.
Yeah.
And he's like, they're not gonna leave. I was like, what is it? He's like, oh man, I got that. He told me about it. And he's like, they just dumped it in the back of my truck. And he's like, I haven't had time to like go to a car wash or anything.
Awesome.
It's winter, you know, you can spray it out at your house.
Yeah.
So it's just like
That's funny.
all these ravens.
Check this out real quick. I just
You sent me
it to you.
something?
Yeah,
All right. And then we'll take a break
Yeah,
because
we
I need
will.
another
I
cold
just-
shot here.
this guy's. I think he was like fucking 60.
Oh, where's
68
this
incher
at?
Cordova.
Ooh,
Fuck yeah,
Whoa.
boys!
This
last
That's how it's
year?
done. Nah, this is years
Forklift?
ago. Years ago.
that's a big moose.
That's
man.
how you fucking do it, though, right?
Man, it has some long points.
Jeez.
Hoist that fucker up there.
Look at that rain and
I
snow.
don't know, man. How do you get to how do you cut all the way up there? It's like gut it.
Ladder.
With
You
the
just
ladder?
work your
Yeah.
way. You just take care of the bottom and then keep lowering it and lowering it.
I mean, that's how they do it everywhere else, huh?
Yeah. Well, you can just pull that hide down over their bodies with deer and stuff.
I guess we're just used to the 4.
The quartering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Let's do it.
Barney's Sports Chalet, supplying hunters and outdoor enthusiasts with the highest quality gear and equipment since they opened their doors in 1963. Barney's carries exclusive brands such as Alpaca Rafts, Sitka Sims, Exo Mountain Gear, Hilleberg, and much more. Barney's prides themselves with keeping a huge stock on hand of various top-of-the-line tents, footwear, sleeping bags, optics, cross-country skis, just to name a few. Barney's is also the exclusive retailer of Montana knives, Seek Outside, Kafaru, Stone Glacier, and their in-house brand, Frontier Gear of Alaska. Barney's has a superior selection of top-rated boots, sleeping bags, dry bags, mountaineering gear, electronics, and accessories. Need freeze-dried food or mountain snacks? They got that too. Barney's now has an amazing new paperback catalog available for in-store pickup or online order. Visit them today at barneysports.com, or even better, stop by the store in Anchorage at 906 West Northern Lights. If you want the best, there's only one name in the game, Barney's Sports Chalet.
The Alaska chapter of Backcountry Hunters and Anglers. BHA is the voice of our Alaska public lands, waters, and wildlife. From national level policy work to engagement with boots on the ground projects from Kotzebue to Ketchikan. BHA performs public land cleanups, hunting and fishing clinics, and community education to help take your game to the next level. BHA's community-minded goal is to uphold our hunting and fishing legacy while keeping wildlands wild and fostering the next generation of sportsmen and women for years to come. Make sure to follow BHA Alaska for upcoming events, local brewery pint nights, and more. Stand up for Alaska public lands and waters by supporting the Alaska chapter of Backcountry Hunters and Anglers. Join us today at backcountryhunters.org.
The Treehouse AK, your one-stop dispensary located at 341 Boniface Parkway. When you pull up to the treehouse, you'll notice the beautifully hand-drawn art by Alaska's own Ted Kim. Once you get inside, you're going to see many of the same people that have been there since they opened. The bud tenders know you and what you like and what new product you should be checking out. The store is super clean and the music's always on point. The treehouse and local owner Josh Boots is a staple in the cannabis culture through his music, community givebacks, and a lifetime desire to bring the people of Alaska the best products available. The treehouse always has at least 25 strains available, and they're all shown prominently deli style in clear, openable jars so you can see and smell your options. Other products include edibles, concentrates, vape carts, pre-rolls, flour, dab rigs, and anything else you need, they got it. They also have some pretty sick merchandise for sale. Check out thetreehouseak.com, or better yet, stop by the Treehouse today and get started on their loyalty program. Remember, you must be 21 years of age to enter their store. The Treehouse, where the culture lives. Wait. This was this year?
No, yeah, there's
Salmonfest?
an article. When I was on my way back, yeah, when I got back, I was like, "What?"
What do they call the guy? The rug guy?
His,
the rug doctor?
His name was. He is operating
Magic
under
rugs?
the name Charlie Hustle. Go see Charlie Hustle.
Boy, that's a believable name.
Yeah, dude. So yeah, $50,000 worth of drugs at Salmonfest.
50 grand.
Yeah,
I thought it was 5.
He got 50 grand?
he got him confiscated from his
like
Bam.
fentanyl, cocaine, like all kinds of shit.
Yep.
Damn.
There, yeah, here it is.
Not Salmonfest drugs. Like, why
Yeah.
couldn't you just have weed and shrooms like normal
Yeah,
people, man?
man.
Why you gotta have
what else do you need
meth,
other than that?
meth, cocaine, psilocybin, LSD, hundreds of grams of an unknown substance that
think
was
that
a
was the
synthetic drug.
fentanyl.
Yeah, probably the fentanyl.
That was,
Yeah, who does that shit, dude? And I guess he got ratted out right away. So that was good. And he was like in the, campground that has like kids and shit in it too. It's fucked up.
I didn't realize that it's like
A fucking vulture.
kids, there's dogs. Like my mother-in-law was there.
It's
like
awesome, dude.
10,000
I was
so
like-
good.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was
I've
like
heard it's
so.
Good food trucks.
I always thought it was just like the new bluegrass, or what was that used to be back in the day?
Bluegrass.
Bluegrass? Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought it was
yeah.
a new bluegrass. It's not, huh?
I
No.
I don't
own
want
thing.
to. Well, I don't want to be there all fucked up and
because
run into my
bluegrass,
mother-in-law.
that guy would have stayed.
yeah.
That was the difference between bluegrass. Is that guy would have
Hey,
stayed.
Mom.
Okay.
Yes. Without the fentanyl. And
Yeah.
I didn't see much cocaine at bluegrass, but
I never went
Yeah.
to a bluegrass as I was too young.
Yeah.
I went
We
the
drove back.
last year. It was like on the river and like pretty much run by the HA. And
Okay.
it was probably one of the most insane weekends I've had.
I believe that.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
always
And I'm
part-
glad I did it once,
Yeah.
but I don't think that you need to do it like twice in
My
your life.
parents sold hot dogs there once.
Oh, really?
How'd that
One
go?
time?
Probably sold a lot of hot
A
dogs.
lot of hot dogs.
Oh,
I saw.
yeah.
A lot of big tippers.
I mean, I saw some of the craziest things I've ever witnessed.
No, Salmonfest is much chiller, dude. There's tons of people with kids and families.
More family oriented.
I mean, it had music, and I'm sure there's plenty of like people that partake in like
Yeah, it's a lot
Nice
mellower,
music. Yeah.
cooler.
stuff, but music festival stuff. But there's like 4 stages. One of them is awesome, where like I think it's only been around for 2 years, but it's like an amphitheater that's built into a hill now. And then I mean, they always have big bands. And then if you don't like that one, there's 3 other stages rocking. And some of the little stages have the best bands, like people you never heard of that
This
they
is
brought
in
up.
Milchick?
Yeah, it's at the fairgrounds.
They have
and
like
then-
Oh,
10,000 people a day.
it's awesome. There's tons.
3 days, right?
Yeah, 3 days. And then the campgrounds that there's tons of different campgrounds down there, but they built this campground called the Arches, which is connected to the fairgrounds on, I guess it would be the east side. And so you just walk right in. It takes like 3 minutes to walk, and you can walk in and out from this back
Is that
entrance.
kind of like behind the general store then? Would that be, or... You know where the general store
I
is?
don't know where the fairgrounds are in Inilchik.
Man,
been.
I don't
Going
know.
south. I'm trying to visualize it.
It would be like
I
if
know where
you're
those little
driving there
fairgrounds are.
before the fairgrounds on the left.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Before
got it.
and
side.
then it's probably
Yep.
about like I don't know 2 miles up, and then but it's hugging the fairground, so
Nice.
you can just walk in the back entrance. It's
Even
totally
at
worth
hip hop,
going.
the homies Brother Buffalo were out there performing.
There was an
Shit.
awesome.
Yeah, there
hip
used
hop-
to be more of a mix of music.
Yeah.
Now it's pretty.
He used to ask us
indie
to
and-
go, but
Yeah, there's probably like 20% like hip hoppy, but it's usually mixed with like there'll be like a band there with them, or maybe it's one guy doing hip hop and then someone has like a stand up bass and then someone has a guitar, and they kind of like have beats mixed into stuff. There's a lot of that, and then there's usually some like reggae influenced stuff,
Oh, yeah, I
like
can see
jam
that.
bands. This year there was like kind of a lack of that. There was a lot more bluegrass stringy music this year than normal. And then a lot of like singer-songwriter stuff. And then, but there was like some big people, like the ex-Ambassadors lead singer was there, and he was just doing an acoustic show by himself.
Well, he has that song with the dude
With Medium Build? Yeah, and they did that
I think
together.
That's like a. That's
Was he
probably
there
a big
too?
draw
yeah,
for him.
Yeah, Medium Bill was there. That was
He's
awesome.
dope. He's dope.
Yeah.
That kid's
Yeah,
he's
Sam
like
Elliott.
it's so unique, and it's not even really something that I normally would like. Not that I wouldn't like it. I guess it's more like because I like so much different. Well, Brandon knows now.
Yeah, you got a wide range.
We just drove like 17 hours each way. You
Wide
know,
range of
like
tunes.
my Apple on random could be like Slayer to Taylor Swift. I mean, it'll be all over the map.
We were getting real swifty about it, boys.
That's funny.
yeah.
I think
Swift
Brandon
off?
likes country now. He doesn't have
I've been
a
listening
choice.
to nothing but country all
Oh.
have,
Yeah,
dude.
dude, it's good.
Are you
It's
talking about the
kinda
medium
redundant,
build
but-
guy? Or are you talking about?
his
Yeah.
style of music is not
Funny you said
something that I'm just not really familiar in that space, and so it's super unique, but I really like it. Like,
Yeah.
he's so talented.
You know what he reminds me of? And it took me forever to figure it out. It was Prince. Like he has this like weird Prince influence in his music. And it's like, you're like, oh, that's why this is so different.
I haven't picked that up yet, but
Yeah.
I get where you're going. It's like I wouldn't even know how to describe him to someone. I'd be like, dude, you just have to listen to it.
Yeah.
Like I don't really know how to. Like,
The girls were dying for him. Like
I'm
every
sure.
girl I talked to at the concert, they're like, oh, dude, I cannot wait for Medium Build to play. And then
Medium
Darcy's
Build?
like, Medium Build. And Darcy's like, we're
Medium
going
Build?
to the front.
he's probably gonna be one of the like first artists from here that kind of has had one of these like meteoric YouTube discovered type. You know, like we have some bands that have come out of here that have gone big. Jewel obviously went huge.
Who are the guys from the Valley?
Portugal the Man
Yeah,
was
Portugal
huge.
Portugal the Man,
Yeah.
but that was like signed a record deal. Did that like Medium Build's like on this trajectory of like what some of these a lot of these new artists are coming where they're like, I mean, like Zach Bryan got discovered on like Twitter, like posted stuff on Twitter and got so big so fast that the Navy literally was like, you have to leave.
Oh, really?
Like he said that he's the second person that he knows of since Elvis who was let out honorably out of the military to pursue music.
Oh, wow. That's incredible.
He said there's been plenty of athletes that have gone to like military academy or where you have a commitment and then you're like you get drafted and they're like let you out of the commitment.
Yeah.
But not musicians. But Zach Bryan like went in and his like CO was like, hey, you're done.
Yeah, let's
Go
just
do
That's
out.
this.
cool. That's cool. I didn't know that.
Like you
Wait,
can't be here
did not
anymore.
know that.
It's a distraction.
Yeah.
And now it's like off of Twitter, and now the dude's selling out like Red Rocks and stadiums.
Oh,
and
really?
shit. Yeah,
Is he country or?
Yeah, he's probably he's amazing, but literally just like out of nowhere. And I think Medium Build is kind of on that
Yeah.
trajectory.
Yeah.
where like I don't know. I mean, maybe he was on tour, or maybe he knows the dude from Ex Ambassadors. I don't know how you get a
Yeah.
song with them,
Totally.
but he got one.
Yeah.
And I feel like I know that the people that went to the show at Hilltop when they
Oh,
had
yeah,
it, there's
yeah.
some like they were like, oh shit, like 4,000 people showed up
Yeah.
to his show.
Yep.
Like the last one in the summer, and they were like not expecting that. You know, those people they get like 500-600 people.
Yeah.
To that series that they did up there, and like all of a sudden, dude, like
Yeah.
Wow. Good
Yeah.
day of sales.
He had Sunday
Yeah.
at Forest Fair, and it was like no one sticks around at 6 o'clock on Sunday at Forest Fair, and it was packed still for him.
Yeah. So I think that he's on a.
Yeah.
That's good.
He's on a like.
Yeah.
Where's
he's
he?
on his way.
Where's he's from? The valley?
I think he's from Anchorage.
Yeah, I think he's from Anchorage. Yeah, he has some
Muldoon?
connection down to the
Just
states
say Muldoon.
too. I don't know.
Is he from Muldoon?
I mean, I hope so.
Is he a dooner?
Brock kind of
The
turned
state
me on to
parts?
it.
Yeah.
I don't know where he's
Yeah,
from.
he's good though. He's real good. You know, Alaska showed up really good after Salmonfest.
Did they? Man, I need to get on that, dude.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah,
never
just
think
put that on your calendar.
Blackwater Railroad.
You know, one more thing.
I mean, I would have liked to have done.
The problem is, it's right in the heart of. It's always been right in the heart of the sheep hunting.
Well, it's the
Oh,
weekend before. So yeah. Well, the last 2 years it was like the 8th or whatever, but now since
They moved it forward.
yeah, it's at the 4th or whatever. But yeah, man, it's awesome. You know, I plan to bring the kids in next year. So
Oh, you didn't go with the kids this year?
no, I brought the kids
did bring them
last
before,
time.
right? Okay.
Yeah, but
So you can go the whole family.
yeah, if you want. This year it was nice.
Is there a spot for the
Cena
mini
came
Winnie
up from Double
out
Shovel
there?
Kodiak.
Can the
and
mini
I-
Winnie roll up?
Yeah. Oh yeah, mini Winnie for sure, man. Yep.
Gonna need
I
that.
brought the R-Pod back there.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Did I tell you I got the mini Winnie?
I've seen in the photo too now. Yeah, you
Yeah.
told me about it.
You're in.
It's awesome.
That there's an RV Clark.
RV what?
Now that there is an RV Clark.
Come on.
Remember that movie? Cole?
Damn.
No.
Are you serious right now, Daniel?
Christmas vacation, bud.
Listen, what year did this come out?
The same time
National
MTV reps.
Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Nah.
With
Now, if
Chevy
you want to
Chase?
quote some Bible stuff,
Oh yeah.
Y'all want to get your feet washed? Let me know. We can get started.
I brought the bucket.
John's 3:16.
Speaking of that, my freezer needs some
Dude,
fish.
I was at
Daniel.
Bible quizzing, bro. I was watching National Lampoon.
Oh, dude.
That's the devil's
come on.
work. That's the devil's work.
Oh, 100%. It's one of the greatest movies of all time. European Vacation, too.
I don't think I've seen those.
Man, you've seen this.
You know what? But I will buy them watching the mini Vinny because I got the little tiny.
Oh yeah.
It's funny, like the dude. So we bought the motorhome, and there's this little tiny TV and it has a DVD. And all these
yeah.
DVDs that we've haven't watched in so long. It's
Yeah.
all streaming. So we loaded them all up in there. I was like, oh, well, now we can watch this stuff. And Mattel's like, man, that thing's so tiny. And he puts his iPad. It's like the same exact size the screen. But it's like up, so you got to like squint to see it. It's funny. It's like, we can just watch on this.
Some old technology.
Yeah, it's funny.
That's a dope little RV, though. It's
Hell,
perfect
yes,
for you
it
guys,
is.
man.
Honey.
Yeah, man. It's, I don't know. I feel some kind of,
Oh, it's okay to feel that way.
you know what I mean?
It's awesome, man.
I feel like you're
some ki-
cheating.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not
Yeah.
cheating.
Yeah.
I think
dude, you got kids.
I've done a lot of,
You
I
put in
mean,
your time, bro.
did I?
Well,
Okay.
yeah.
You
Yeah,
put in
How
your
much time
bro.
is the time? We're like, all
Do you
right,
get
we
a
camped in the
count being a
tent
kid?
It's not
long
cheating,
enough.
man.
I mean, with Mateo, it's been ever since he was born. So
I
he's
think
13.
if you go really hard for
And
like a decade, you qualify for a camper.
Okay, so you got to go a decade in a tent.
At least.
Then you can go to the camper.
If you have a
You never start with the
toddler.
camper, though.
No.
if you have a toddler,
people
man,
do.
get a camper.
Yeah.
Man, throw him in the tent, dog.
But
That's how we did it.
Who starts with a
I-
camper? People start with campers.
Yeah.
Like we all grew up outside without campers.
Well,
Yeah,
Maybe people don't go really
Jack.
camping.
Everyone who's not from Alaska start. Everyone in California started with a camper,
I couldn't imagine that, dude. Yeah.
and you go to KOAs.
Did your pops end up? Did you guys have campers?
Dad had one
Where
of
you-
those bed.
Oh, cab overs?
Cab over, thank you.
Oh, fuck.
And he got it, I don't know, maybe when I was like 12. But I never slept in it one time. You
slept
know,
in
like
that
it was like
tent?
get in the tent with your brother,
Yeah.
set it up yourself. You
Yeah.
know, I was like, all right.
Yeah.
You know,
If you were like plugging into shore power and shit like that, then it's like you could feel a certain way. But dude, you got two small
that's-
kids. You shouldn't
Yeah,
feel
that's
any
small,
way
yeah.
about that.
No.
and also I feel like
Well, I've been
growing up-
taken into places it's not even like campgrounds.
Yes,
And
that's
not,
where
and
it's
not
at.
even for the like hardcore of sleeping on the ground.
Off
Like you
the
could
grid.
you could do like Jack's dad and make the kids sleep outside.
Yeah.
So they could still get the same experience. It's just the convenience of not like when you're trying to organize a family, not having to just like have all these bins that you got to throw
Yeah,
in. That's
totes
all
and
that
shit.
extra shit that you
Yeah.
got to remember every time.
Tell me
like
about it, dude.
forks and spoons and paper towels and
Oh,
paper
shit.
plates
It's in
and
there.
plastic
Just
plates
load it.
and
You see
propane
the truck, dude,
When you
just
just have all that,
Yeah.
that's what I'm talking about. So it's
Yeah.
like grab your clothes, your fishing gear, your hunting gear, whatever gear you need,
Yeah.
and get in.
And let's go.
That's it.
And we're ready. Like, there's no like, God damn it, forgot the garlic salt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's none of that.
Should be in
So,
there.
dude, it's
Yeah.
100%.
It's got a closet. You can just like leave jackets in there.
No, I did. I've already assigned like clothes to the motorhome.
Yeah.
That way you
Life-
just never.
life vest.
You can be like, oh, I forgot my jacket, but I got one in the camper.
Exactly, dude.
Just a set of rain gear.
Just so bougie and whack, dude.
I like what you're
No,
doing
man,
though,
you're-
not
you-
going to
no.
campgrounds because that
There's
was
so
like
many
the
cool
thing,
spots that you can go.
100%.
And you don't have to like
100%.
And that's
be
what's
at
awesome
some
about
campground.
having a smaller motorhome is you can do that.
Yeah,
You
you're
can go
more,
on dirt roads.
more maneuverable.
You don't want to take a big old, like the sewers,
Tail
4 inches off the
dragger,
ground,
fucking
tail dragger.
blowing off.
Yeah, you can't.
Yep.
You're
Outside,
dragging a trailer hitch everywhere.
outside of camp in the Russian River, I don't remember staying at a campground one time as a kid. Like we are always out doing cool shit like you're doing. That's the way to do it with the kids.
Well,
man.
and you guys did the Russian and Quartz Creek, which are all revamped campsites, which having a small motorhome is actually really nice to just slip in there and like,
Well, the thing that
boom,
sucks
turkey. When you do want to do the campground thing. I mean,
yes, which we
Yeah.
do like 2 times a year. or
yeah,
something.
you do that. Yeah.
But what sucks is we've been doing that, and my parents roll up at the motorhome. My brother has a cab over, and you bring the tent, but they make you put the tent on the concrete. You
Oh,
can't even
what?
be in the woods with the tent.
serious?
Yeah,
it has to go on
all those
assigned
spots,
spot.
dude. All those spots you have to camp in. Unless they don't have a designated like square that's like elevated and with some fake grass on it.
It's like a rule.
Yeah,
Or the,
Oh man,
yeah. You
I
have to
didn't
be.
know
You
that.
can't be like in the woods.
That's messed up.
damn.
There's other certain like just tent spots, but like if you're trying to camp, like let's say my parents are there and we're sharing a site.
So you need the mini Winnie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you
Problem solved.
You actually slept on the asphalt?
For the last like 10 years.
Holy shit, that would hurt so bad.
I mean, we got pads
No,
and
you got
cots and
Flat
stuff.
spot.
Still,
It's actually flatter.
What? How have you
It is,
ever?
but you
have
can't
you ever
like
slept on the pipeline?
You can't like.
I want to ask
on
you
the
that.
pipeline.
Yeah.
Yes,
You guys slept on the pipeline.
Well, on top
Yes.
of it.
You
top
did.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's buried, but yeah, we're on top of it.
Oh, okay. All right. All right.
Okay.
Still,
I mean, a dude came and told us.
and he
You know
told
you're on
us, and I
top of
was
the
like,
pipeline, right?
I was like, oh hell, you are.
Could you
fucking
feel
right.
it?
We
I'm like, I'm pretty sure
don't
that
be having no fires. Like,
it's
oh, shit, definitely not.
engineered incorrectly if my tent stake went through it.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Just
How deep is it under, Jack? Do you know?
I don't know,
It's
man. You'd think
not-
you would under. You
it's
think
buried,
you
dude.
think it would be.
I mean, it's bulging up.
I would imagine it's below frost, right? It's got to be below frost.
But I was thinking about that. But like, how deep is the frost there? I'm pretty sure that it goes 1,500 feet. Like that's how we had to freeze protect the wells to 1,500 feet. So like, it's not that deep, you know.
Oh,
It's
because
definitely not that.
Yeah.
the permafrost.
See, like when it's buried, it's bulging. Like it.
There's a
Like, where
mound
it-
above.
Yeah, like where it was.
It was perfectly flat. What are you talking
Oh,
about?
well, it
So
was
how many
elevated up.
feet? How many feet? You
But-
think?
Oh,
But
because we were in
back.
the lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
well,
guess.
that's so
Hold
you-
on. Before you
that's so
tell
you
us,
know.
Jack, what's your guess on the feet? How deep?
I'm gonna say 12 feet.
16.
It was 6.
All right. It's 8 to 16,
Oh,
and they put gravel in
we
there.
all win.
So 12 would be like,
Yeah.
There you go.
right
The
in
big-
the middle of that.
There must be some sort of permafrost layer right there at 8 to 16. Like
After it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To pick that depth. You
Yeah.
know.
Anyway, man, take the W on being a new RV owner and freaking
Yeah.
enjoy it, bro.
Yeah,
man.
man.
Because you still have the tent for the backcountry ride, rafting, all the different stuff you do. So you get your fix.
Yeah.
Then you're just trying to go Cadillac pimping weekend warrior.
Yeah,
just
quit
need
being
to
a
roll into
hardcore Henry,
spot.
dude. Just enjoy it. Jesus.
No, I'm
Enjoy
I'm
that
actually
little
really
iPad-sized
excited.
TV.
What I'm really excited
Gotta get
for
used
is
to
like love to do like we should go down and do like the anchor and stuff like that in
Yeah.
October when
Yes.
it's cold. Don't really want to be in the tent. You know, 3 of us can go, 4 of us can go in the motorhome. You can bring that thing and just hang out and go do more winter stuff.
Yeah. You can pull.
I mean, I've
the
went on many a
RPod.
winter. I could pull the ARPod. Damn. Ooh.
Double
Let's
whammy.
go, boys.
Or you can pull
Oh,
my
shit.
snow machine,
Yeah. Still.
and I'll just tow you back. Some skis.
I'd like to hear about this Brooks Range. Caribou
Okay.
hunt.
Yeah. Let's get into
Was
that.
past
Well,
the
before we get
Brooks
started, I wanted to just kind of like in closing, in the recap that you shared with your sheep hunt.
Range.
Oh,
He
yeah.
said, he
Oh,
said
yeah.
Dall sheep are the new king salmon.
Oh,
Yeah.
did I say that on there? Because that's what I meant to say.
No, but
So
I mean,
that
that was my takeaway.
Okay, so we can add it to the
absolutely-
list.
Absolutely. What Chad just said. I've described this to a bunch of different people that care a lot, and it is on par with what's happened to the king salmon. 100%. What the sheep population in Alaska Range. It is, and it broke my heart being out there. You know, I loved hiking around, but
Well, I'm hearing. I mean, you're not the first one to come back this year and say that. I haven't heard. I mean, your boys doubled up.
They got one in the Brooks. I'm not sure where.
Okay, they got one.
But I haven't seen the picture yet, so that doesn't count.
West, I think West told me one of his buddies got one. So I mean, I've been hearing a lot of stories about like not seeing any sheep.
yeah.
I do know that Austin, who
Manilich.
He took out their group got 2, but he's guiding. I don't know where exactly where he goes, but
So you don't know what range?
no, I just saw a picture.
That's cool. That I mean, there's some success. That
Actually,
Better-
the one West sent me is from Canada. Never mind.
It was
a fanning sheep.
to me, like what I think really needs to happen is
that's what I want to do is fire
They-
up this conversation and kind of end it with that. Like,
we had those 2 bad winners. Well, they haven't had enough time to put together detail, like reading and talking to the fishing game. They don't have enough money and time and resources to fly all the ranges. So they like fly a little bit and then compound that out to get their estimate of the area. So I think like one would be like hunters should be required to fill out a very detailed confidential report for the fishing game. Like 100%. It should be like, what drainage were you in? And how many sheep did you see in how many days? And you like exactly how many ewes, how many like legal rams, like how many half curls, how many 3/4 curls, blah, 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 how many full curl rams. And they should be required to submit that if they hunt. If they click like yes on the harvest tag, yes,
It should definitely be like when they did the OV thing.
What was that?
When they were asking, like they should at least ask for that.
It should be required.
And it should be volunteered. I think people will be resistant.
That's okay.
I think people will lie.
So
if they make it required, I think that the people that do
Yep.
submit that are required to, I think people will lie.
So that's okay.
Preserve their area and say like, I didn't see anything.
And I think that's okay because they wouldn't use that. They would use this as like subjective data that lying is a natural like percentage. So
Sure.
if you were looking at analytics over 10 years, that who cares about that lying because
Yeah.
it's
I get what you're
mended
saying.
into the data and you would be able to see the trends either way. So
Well, if they just even opened it up to like volunteers giving that information, you know, like that's what they did with the OV thing. And I think they got a lot of people that like, you know, I turned mine in and I kept mine preserved so that way they could take a swab to see and was happy to do that. And I think there's the majority of sheep hunters, you know, the sheep hunters there's some weird dudes in
no,
there.
there is.
That are like soup.
Yeah.
They're like so hyper secretive and
Yeah.
don't even want to say what mountain range and like never will show a photo and you ask them and it's just like I would hate for people to be, but I get what you're saying that analytically over time even the lying would still show a
trend either way.
Trend, yeah.
Well, what they should do is make it just across the board, whether you're moose hunting, caribou hunting,
Yeah, totally.
sheep hunting, goat hunting. Tell us what you're seeing, and that's going to help their money spent to go search and do their own counts.
Right, and it's like, hey, this is becoming a red flag area. Looking at this trend, let's go look at it and spend more time flying it and spend more money in that area. But anyway, well, like the reason I say that is because we had this big bad die off. Well, we 9 years ago, 10 now. We didn't hear a lot about that initially. Like it was like, oh, this might have been a problem, and it was like, oh, it was a big problem. 5, 6, 7 years later, and I think we just ran into that again. I mean, we've had the 2 biggest snow years that I remember. We had record-breaking year last year, and we had a real late winter. Those are all like really big problems for the sheep, of course, just for the yearly survival. But also, there's a lot of studies that show that if you have a lot of snow and it's cold late in the year, then the ewes don't like lactate as much and all this stuff, which causes lambs' health, to be down and all this stuff. So, and then what happens is the next year, then they're not as fertile, kind of thing, and So anyway, when you got all these problems happening in this last 2 years, we probably won't see these in terms of like documented kind of reports from the Fish and Game and the biologists there for like 4 or 5 more years, and maybe it'll take them some time to figure that out. Well, right now we know that it's a problem, a huge problem. Going to see 150
there's been drastic
C3.
ebb and flows forever, obviously, just because of weather. And I mean, I don't know if it's over. Like I was jokingly saying it about the king salmon because it does relate.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. I think the king salmon thing is like on the keen eye for me. I feel like it's definitely just overfished, and that's the reason. I don't know if sheep is being overhunted.
I mean, I say that
it
Keen
certainly could be.
The king thing. Like, look at I grew up fishing the Theodore across the river or across the inlet. You have to fly over there, and that was definitely not overfished. Like we'd see 1 or 2 people maybe. Yeah. From being a kid there and being able to catch and release like 5 or 6 kings a day before I kept mine, to graduating college and going over there and it was already just catch and release. So the numbers dropped from whatever it was 6,000 to like 1,000, and then now you can't even catch and release that river. And that's not just this year. You haven't been able to catch and release that river since like 2010.
Yeah,
and so like that. This is like the same kind of. That is an experience I had with king salmon, and going to a sheep hunting area that, I would see 150 sheep flying in and then, work really hard, but I would definitely see a bunch of rams and tons of lambs and ewes, to seeing 12 that were like haggard. Yeah. I mean, we're at like a tipping point on the low end where, I believe that when the population gets this low, like there shouldn't even be any hunting. You don't want to take out any of the few rams that are left. I didn't even see young rams. So it's like, if you're not seeing young rams either, it's like, why is it open for hunting still? That would be my question. Like, It should be closed until the population comes back around.
Wonder if the state is scared to do that because the feds are doing that on their own thing.
Well,
against the state's will, you know what I mean? Like what happened with the Brooks.
I mean, I don't know the fix, but I would guess that it will definitely happen in our life, not just our lifetime, but in our like hunting years, that everything sheep in the state will be a draw.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
I think that'll happen for sure.
I think in the next 10 years.
I don't necessarily know if that fixes. I don't really know what more you can do from the full curl 8 years, other than because like if you go to like, oh, it's got to be a 9-year-old or a 10-year-old, like it really gets like you're putting a lot of pressure on a guide and a hunter to try and be able to figure that out through a photo, which obviously.
Well, I don't think that's the problem, though. I think they're just really fragile, and all these winters and all that stuff is really. It might not be the overhunting,
but we can't control that.
Right.
Exactly.
We can't control any of that, but we can control.
They control the extra pressure that we're adding.
Hunting.
Yeah.
That's all we can control. And I know that talking with the girls when we turned in Nate's sheep last year, like, and it was a bad year. Like, I was happy that we got one and found one, but we went, we covered 50 miles in a straight line. So we walked up drainages all the way across that 50-mile straight line. So we covered at least 75 miles on foot over 9 days, Nate and I didn't see one ewe. I saw a few lambs.
Yep.
When the year prior, I was in the same area of Wrangles, and would literally open the door to the little cabin we got to use that year, and there would be 100 ewes and lambs like 50 feet away from the cabin feeding in the mornings at like 5 a.m. when I'm like getting up.
Yeah.
And so not seeing any ewes was scary. But talking to, when we turned in his ram in Glen Allen, that girl told me that at least 25% of the rams that she had seen turn in that year, which was down a lot, were sublegal.
Yep.
So I think, honestly, that the punishment, because I don't know that you can change the regs, but I think maybe the punishment needs to be more severe. So you don't
If
have
you shoot
people.
a sublegal?
And she said the most surprising thing to her was that there were several that were guided.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that doesn't happen. But that's a lot of pressure that like is being applied to these guides to make sure their client gets something.
Yeah.
And so if you don't, I don't know. I just seen a video on my wife's TikTok the other day of like 60 people taking like $300,000 worth of shit from a Nordstrom, and no one's allowed to do anything. The employees aren't allowed to do anything. Security's not allowed to do anything. So when you don't have repercussions for shit, it gets out of control real quick. So I think that they can stiffen that.
Yep.
And and there's a million factors in it. Like I've heard, like the dwarf
a lot of
birch
that
is growing.
A lot of that
they're
is
losing lichen.
There's honest mistakes that happen in that too, because as you've gone many times, it's especially if you're newer.
Yeah,
it's not that easy to count.
Well, they're
honest. And we've been, Brandon has a story on his own where it's like, or even mine when I thought it was 10, and they count, they do count some, they don't count some, and they bring in 10 other people that come in, and no one has the same answer.
That's why I don't think that you can like change the whole years thing.
Yeah,
like 8 just kind of coincides with.
Yeah, but what you could do is like, let's say they're going for full curl rams, and there's 6 allowed in this area. Okay, not full curl ram, whatever ram you'd like, but there's only 2
left. Yeah,
that you can get.
Yeah.
So then it's not like
more of a registration system.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing they could do is Jake and I were talking about is maybe there could be a thing where like, hey, if you kill like an 8-year-old that's barely full curl, then you like can't hunt that area again for like 4 years. But if you kill one that's like 10 years and like an inch or a half inch or some measurement past full curl, then you can hunt it again the next year to try to encourage more mature rams getting taken out. There could be something like that. But either like I'm with you. Like at this point, like I think I would never have said this before this trip, but I feel like that area should go to a draw. Where it's managed better.
I think all areas are eventually going to go. I mean, we're blessed we're blessed as Alaskans. Like the majority of the hunts.
But I feel bad for like the kids, man. Like my kids, Jack's kids, Brandon's kids that want to go.
It's about the kids, man.
Yeah. Like when he's ready to go.
I mean, you have these cycles, you know, where the Earth's gonna just do what it does, and unfortunately, it's the freeze thaw cycles are way worse for the sheep than the deep snow. Like deep snow, they're dying in avalanches, but they can at least get food. I mean, mountaintops, like no matter how much snow you got, mountaintops usually is blown off. They're getting a lot of wind, They can still find food. It's the freeze thaw cycles where if it builds up an inch thick layer of ice, like they can't scratch through that.
Yeah.
And then I've heard that, the dwarf birch is like gaining elevation. And so it's like that stuff is like, it's like a weed. Closing down a lot of their food sources.
Yeah.
There's a million factors.
What I agree with the natural thing, but I think when you're in an area and you're at the low end of that cycle and you have airplane traffic and you have hunting pressure and you're taking out mature rams, like that is going to add to that at a time that we don't need to add to it. And it's crazy. You go fly through Rainy Pass. I mean, you're passing hundreds of bulls, and in the back of a plane, you will see 0 sheep. And it's because of that plane traffic. Like the sheep don't like the plane traffic, just like there's no goats in Spencer. So don't put in for goats at Spencer Glacier because you're never going to see any with all the helicopters that go out there.
I put in for every year.
Yeah.
And I got one goat up there. I know.
Well, speaking of it, and you're asking me about the other numbers. Here's the picture you asked for.
What's it of?
Oh, nice. They both got one.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
That's not Brett, though.
No, that's not Brett.
They took a third dude?
I don't know.
Must have.
Must have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
They went to the Brooks.
Brooks Range Rams.
Nice work,
Still
So
found
it's like a 10-year-old on the right. The other guy's younger, huh?
Yeah. He's like
It's a
one
nice-
of those
it's a
curly cues.
Really nice ones.
Probably 8.
Good for them.
Yeah, man. That's awesome.
Good for them. There's still hope, boys, right there.
Yeah.
Oh, they're out there, man.
Yeah,
Just
no,
gotta-
for sure. I just think
gotta
when,
walk farther.
when certain
Fly
areas
farther,
are getting
something.
hitting hard, we need to be cautious. That's all.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
not-
it's just been a pattern that's been happening with all kind of things. I mean, the kings, the clams, we said it before, the crab,
Mm-hmm.
the sheep,
The caribou now.
the caribou. Jeez, man.
Well,
We have to start getting them little ground squirrels out.
the caribou is that's a dynamic
your
thing
freezer.
because I know you're referring to like Nelchina, probably.
And the Malchatna.
Well, the Malchatna one, they did just deal with that to the best of their ability. I mean, it killed
And
90.
on an emergency kind of situation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But that's a different that's that resident herd. That's just like kind of a trophy herd.
Uh-huh.
It's a very resident caribou, and so it's kind of different than these others. The one, like the 40-mile herd, and then, tier 1 tag, like that herd's just not like it kind of combined. Like the 40-mile herd got way bigger, and
So did everyone that's going hunting there now.
and so that one's
was
really
that was going after the Nelchina. All those hunters just go. Zoop.
Yeah.
well. The problem with that is like that herd, both those herds, like they cross a international border, so like that's a balancing act with like
The Canadians.
we're getting them first, so it's like
Yeah. Well, just like
and we have to make sure that there's enough for like Canadian hunters to still be able to hunt, and so
that
that's a
happened with the
delicate-
kings too, and
that's
the
a
fish. You know what I mean?
delicate
Because we're
balance.
getting them all first before they make their way over there.
What, like the Yukon?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't think they want them by the time they get there. That thing is like redder than ketchup bottle, dude.
Clapped out.
Ferrari red by that point, dude.
Lots of
They're
chunk.
like, nah, you can have that.
What happened?
But
there?
I don't know, man. It's a
Stupid
delicate thing.
disconnected on you.
But I did want to bring up something because this is something that we can be fighting on a constant. And I know that you have a thing coming up with them in October. But the Howl for Wildlife guys, like everyone should just be part of that. You don't even have to join their organization. You don't have to give no money. Just follow them and get on their newsletter because what they're doing is so important. And a lot of it is like all you have to do is like click the howl button, meaning you want to like say something. He's got form letters already written. You just enter in your name and email if you agree with what they're trying to do, and they send letters to make sure, because like, man, you're worried about like us running out of Dall Sheep for your kids. Like you got a administration right now that just pulled federal funding from schools that have archery or gun safety programs, hunter education programs. Like, so like we don't make.
What about
up, like,
JROTC?
well,
Do a lot of gun shooting there.
well, there's a lot of stuff but these are bills that get brought
They didn't
up.
pull
Is
that,
that
did
out?
they?
They haven't pulled it?
I don't think they'll pull that.
Yeah.
That
No,
has to
they
have
won't.
federal
I
funding.
mean, they're just like, they won't, because they're talking. The military's too big of a deal.
Yeah.
But there is a fight right now against hunting,
Oh yeah.
and it's nationwide. And as hunters, like you can't even, like, we don't have the right, because we're so goddamn spoiled and blessed to be Alaskans. We don't have the right to only worry about Alaska. Like, we need to defend this in other states. Like, we have to be sending letters. And Howl for Wildlife makes it super easy, man. Give them a follow, sign up for their newsletter, and go on their stuff, because there is bills. And it's not as prevalent in Alaska because we are a hunting foundation state. Like, that's what we do here. Yep. And even like a vegan in Alaska is like, they even know, like, they're not even anti-hunters up here, you know, like, they know, like, this is part of our livelihood, and it's a big part of like being an Alaskan and life up here, and it's under attack in the United States badly, and we are a very small minority. And if we don't come together and all support each other, like, maybe you're never going to go hunting in Louisiana. I'm probably not ever either. But if they're going to try and ban something there, I'm going to make sure that I sign that thing.
Yeah.
Yes, because it's all just taken a little away at a time. And once things are taken away, man, it's real hard to get them back.
That's right.
No,
it's fighting you.
it is.
Yeah.
So I'll get off my
howlforwildlife.org.
Yeah, good shout out though. Really, seriously, that was a good.
And there's other organizations too that'll do it. Like, but just get on. Just as a hunter, man, we have to support other hunters.
That's right.
Period.
Yeah, we'd stand together.
Even the ones that are road hunting and dead horse.
The Uhaul,
The Uhaul boys.
The Uhaul guys.
Man, it's been a while since I've like road hunted, legit road hunted.
Oh, right.
You know
That
what I
was
mean?
the first time in my life.
I mean, because
sort of. I mean, I kind of did it in Arizona, I guess.
I mean, you never like ran Lake Louise Road in the truck looking for a caribou or anything before.
Never.
I mean, we drove on Denali Highway and like spotted from the car.
That's road hunting.
You know, yeah.
Yeah.
Look at the mountains and
road
shit.
I've never even done that. I've never road hunted other than my time in Arizona, which was, you're not on road. It's more like 4-wheel drive trails.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is,
I had a different.
was close
I just
enough
thought
to me.
it was going to be different.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in preparation for the hunt.
Is it howl_org? That's it right there, right?
Yep, that's
howl_org
yes, that's
Howl for
Charles right
Wildlife.
there.
Sweet.
on Instagram.
On Instagram.
Yep, Howl for Wildlife.
He's got a lot of
And that
followers.
dude, Charles isn't doing that to make money, man. He's doing that for all of us.
Yeah, he's just
He really
he's
is.
just trying to be part of the solution.
Yes, he's donating his time, dude. And he
Awesome.
is on.
Well, I
it,
shared
man.
this
What's his
this
name?
thing.
Charles.
Actually, we should play a little thing of that.
Forget his last name. But yeah, because this is a good talk too, and he's doing stuff like this where he's saying like, you people out there that are like athletes or whatever that are hunters, like, promote it. If you're an influencer, promote it. If you hunt, like, don't shy away from it because people are gonna blast you on your Instagram.
Super cool. And what I think would be super cool is, and this is no disrespect at all, the hot shots out there, the big time dudes, the big people with followers, the people with awesome businesses, creating stuff all the time. You know, you're selling this stuff, we're buying stuff, whoever it is. I'm just thinking of like a million people, so no disrespect or anything like that. But if those guys became leaders in what it is we're doing here, getting people involved in commission meetings, getting people involved in the issues, taking a little bit of their precious time, it is, believe me, into sharing some info with people. Not just sharing a post, not just liking a post. That's nothing. That's getting nothing done. That's no action. That's nothing. I'm talking about getting involved. What you might not know, and I know a lot of people don't know this, this kind of hit me square between the eyes when there was that, what was the bill out of Georgia? The Return Act. I'd listened to some podcasts and I found out people do not know that there are people every single day fighting in the trenches for hunting rights, for conservation, And I'm not talking about like the national orgs. I'm talking about the state level. There's people running organizations who are in it every single day. You want to know who they are, you pay attention to a commission meeting and you see who's there. You see what organizations are actually there. You see who's there that's fighting for you. But anyway, that Return Act thing. I heard comments and people talking about stuff like the sportsman's seat at the table doesn't matter and all that, and it's not that big of a deal, and no one pays attention to that. I'm like, oh my God, there's a whole world you just don't know about, isn't there? I mean, I didn't even really know how to take that. Anyway, we need leaders who can take this charge and get people behind them. Because when you guys do things, I'm talking to a bunch of you out there, but when you do things, other people do it. They're like, oh yeah, that's cool. I'm going to, get involved in this archery contest or this thing, or I'm going to wear that pack or whatever, just because you are, and I respect you. If you showed up to a commission meeting and gave your story and just, whatever, you showed up and spoke, that would do so much for this community, for the sportsman community, the hunters, the anglers, and everything. That would do, dare I say, that might have more of an effect than anything else you've ever done. I might be wrong. I'm just saying. For me, I think it would. That'd definitely make me the happiest. But there's people who are exhausted by the work that goes in. And I don't want to sit around in 10 years and say, yeah, we lost this because hunters didn't show up, because people didn't show up. I want to sit around and say, in 10 years, we've still got this because we created something new. And we actually got the people to show up. It's going to take a lot of work. But if we don't do it, we're going to be sitting around in 10 years, and just like in 2013, when California lost hound hunting, and I mean, you name it in California, all I heard was people didn't show up to fight against it, and it became easy. And it's a different story. I don't want to get into like the weeds and all that kind of stuff, but we need you.
Pretty deep.
Yeah, what he said.
Yeah.
Get involved.
He's 100% correct.
Dustin mentioned that before. Dustin goes to a lot of the fishing things. It's like there's nobody there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like there's nobody there. Where are all these guys?
Yeah.
The state's there. The feds are there.
Yeah. Lobbies are there.
Lobbies are there. Where's all these guides? Where's all these people that love it, enjoy it, and profit off of it, and want to?
I mean, people are busy, and I understand that. You have to support it on some level, whatever level you can.
Yeah.
Find the time or afford. You got to do it if you want your kids to be able to do this, your grandkids.
Yeah, take the action, whatever that capacity is.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's take a break, and we're going to come back and talk about the actual topic we were going to talk about this whole time.
Yeah, I already named the show, too.
Big Ray's, the Alaskan outfitter, committed to outfitting Alaskans across the state since 1947. Whether you're a recreator, parent, guide, or corporate buyer, Big Ray's has the gear you need tailored for Alaska's harsh conditions. At Big Ray's, you'll find brands like Carhartt, Grundens, Darn Tough, FXD, Okiwear, and more. Big Ray's is your one-stop shop for both outdoor gear and rugged work attire. Check out their new exclusive line of durable but affordable waders, inspired by and named after the majestic Aralak River in remote western Alaska. The Aralak wader was designed by Alaskans and proven for the diverse waters of the last frontier. Visit Big Ray's at any of their 5 locations statewide, 2 in Anchorage, 2 in Fairbanks, 1 in Kodiak, or check them out online at bigrays.com.
Tailored Restoration, helping Alaskans turn disasters into new beginnings since 1972. Their 24-hour services include fire, water, mold, post-emergency cleaning, and repairs. Tailored built its reputation with years of committed and reliable service to the community with innovative restoration and home remodeling. When you have an unexpected home issue at the most improbable time, Tailored has an emergency response number with trained professionals available to help you anytime, day or night. Tailored Restoration has locations to serve you in Anchorage, Eagle River, Matsu, or Fairbanks. Give them a call at 907-344-1239 or make an appointment today at tailoredrestorationalaska.com.
Total Truck, Alaska's premier supplier for custom automotive accessories and overlander products. If you want to customize your vehicle, talk to the team at Total Truck, where you'll find their expertise along with top brands such as ARE, RSI Smart Caps, Goose Gear, iCamper, Frontrunner, Rigid Lights, Rhino Lining bed liners, and everything you need to outfit your truck or SUV. Want to turn your truck into a sleeping option? They have rooftop tents, custom camping equipment, electronics, and solar energy packages to keep you powered up deep in the backcountry. Stop by their store location on Dowling between the new and old Seward Highway, or check them out at TotalTruckAK.com.
Well, I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
All the aggressive genes would be out of the pool. It's only the docile ones.
Jackie, you say you got something for us?
Oh yeah, I do.
So actual trivia?
All right, throw it down.
Okay.
The other trivia was legit trivia too, actually.
Yeah, it was.
Good.
Yeah, it was good. We can do as many as you want. We can do 1, 10, whatever.
Let's go till I win.
All right. Okay, we were on sheep. So, how much does a male sheep weigh, and how much is the harvestable meat?
So live weight and on
225 and 50.
that's a good one.
265, 80.
$1.01, Bob.
I'm gonna go 225 and 60 pounds off the bone.
All right, you nailed the 80, and then 300
Okay.
is the average
A
mature male weight
80 pounds?
from the Department of Fishing. Yeah, 80 pounds of meat. Yeah.
Man, I don't think I've ever pulled 80 pounds of meat out of there on a ram that I can remember.
No bloodshot, maybe.
Can't be shooting them sublegals, bro.
Bones in and with the head,
Yeah,
maybe.
that's just, exactly. No, I'm just trying to think of like when you had meat made and
50
what
pounds.
you were able to do with it.
Usually turn in 50.
Well, you probably eat a
Yeah.
bunch too. You turn it
Backstrap
in
and
and
stuff.
stuff like that.
I
Get
don't
the back
share.
shot.
We don't eat it. If it's mine.
No, but you eat it when you're out there, don't you?
No.
No?
Never
No.
out there alone. I'm not sharing that.
How about if
We never
how about if
really
you eat 10 pounds of brisket?
You eat a whole bunch, dude. You eat a lot.
we eat the heart.
Yeah. Well, they may. I wonder if they count that in that 80.
No.
The heart's
they're
the
not,
liver?
They're not
Just
counting
flesh.
there's no organs in that.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's just all the meat, and if you don't have any
Yeah,
bloodshot,
like
and it's
legally
a
and properly
big mature
deboned.
ram.
I could see 80 pounds if you got like a big old hoss, big fat hoss. Yeah,
Feels like 80. Tell you that.
sure does. That's the
Feels
truth.
like more than 80.
It does feel more than 80, 100%. All right. Same question, but for bison. So weight of like
Okay, now
a
we're just-
male bison.
These are all great questions. I think we actually may have done this, or we talked about this with
David.
David. Yep. I feel like we covered this. Do I have to go back to my notes? Okay, give me
I'm
a
going to
second.
go 1,300. 650.
I'm gonna go 1,600.
Holy shit.
Those things are heavy, dude, and big. And I'm gonna say 850.
1,250 live, 400 off the bone.
So big bull, 2,000 pounds, and 680 pounds of meat.
God
Oh,
damn.
so I was close on meat.
Yeah.
2,000 pounds.
Yeah.
Dude, those things are massive.
They're bigger than moose.
Everything's falling like a 1/3, basically.
When the meat comes off.
Pretty close.
That's about right, yeah.
Is what it's showing.
I feel like some of those caribou that we were after Especially the missed opportunity one, had a huge rack but super small body. And then the big bulls that we saw in Dead Horse were like fucking built.
Yeah.
It was a huge, like, you could have a nice bull but have a small body on it.
Mm-hmm.
It was just crazy, the variation in caribou size that we saw. I guess I haven't hunted caribou in a while, so I kind of forgot. But
that's the next one.
Anyway,
moose.
yeah, I want to dive into that. I was just
let's
thinking
do the
about
moose.
Yep.
Yeah.
So bull moose, big bull moose, live weight and dressed out meat weight.
I'm saying
Keep underestimating.
1250, 550.
16, 450.
Because we're going average, right?
Yeah.
Damn, yeah, that's a good one. Average 1,500 pounds, 400 pounds.
All right, so 1,600 and 500.
So 1,600 is average fucking.
Big bull moose.
I know
That's
they kind
crazy.
of like. I know that those Yukon moose up out of Tok, dude. Those are some big bodies.
Mm-hmm.
We did it. We turned in Eric's bull. I remember we counted the weight. It was like 490 pounds or something like
Bone
that.
in or bone?
Off the bone that
Off
we
the bone,
turned
okay,
in
yeah.
for processing.
Yep.
But we kept. That was
The back
everything.
straps.
That was like 400, almost just shy of 500 pounds off the bone.
Off the bone.
Off the bone. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not what we turned in the processor. So that's what we added up in what we had processed, and then what we kept. We actually weighed like his back. We weighed the back strap separate. We weighed the I guess the non-grind meat we weighed separately, and then weighed what we turned in, and that was the cumulative was almost 500 pounds.
Triss's moose, which when he shot it, Wes was like, "How big do you think that rack is?" And I said, 53. It was 61.
Sometimes the
my
rack doesn't
God.
matter.
We turned in 660 pounds on the bone
Yep.
to Indian Valley. And that was minus the back straps and
Yeah.
minus the tenderloin.
Monster body.
Yep.
Yeah.
What did Fish and Game say though? 49.
They said
They
60.
counted
They
the
said,
rings.
I had it at 60. They said 61. Well, the taxidermist, they didn't. We didn't
don't
have,
have to bring
fish,
it
we
in.
didn't run into Fish and Game.
Yeah, you don't have to get it sealed or whatever.
But I thought
Yeah.
I thought it wasn't that big because, dude, the body.
Because the body was so massive.
You guys know Wes. Wes is not weak.
Yeah, he's a strong dude.
Wes couldn't hold the hind quarter up, pop the hip joint by himself.
Well, it makes sense. The thing weighed 300 pounds.
120 pounds.
I mean, it took two big dudes to hold that.
Yeah, so that was one of those on the top scale when we were talking about that average.
Yeah.
You know, that was probably a 1,700 pound animal. And
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
fucking healthy.
We
obviously.
average between 550 and 650 bone in, but we've already taken out roasts, back straps, tenderloin.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so those weights make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just always figure, like, if you get 500 pounds, that's a good haul.
And bone in,
It's a
I
really
don't
good
mean
haul.
ribs. I don't ever take ribs.
Yeah.
What?
Like that caribou
I
body.
strip the rib
That caribou
meat.
body
I don't
was like
keep
a
it on the ribs.
mature
Never
body.
done the whole rib?
I'm not carrying that rib out.
Oh, of that, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
A
I'm
moose
not,
rib?
Like deer, do you do that though?
yeah, I
Caribou's-
don't. Yeah, those
Oh, it's so bomb, dude. The whole deer rack.
Oh man.
deer. I would for sure
when
because
you-
like
when
you
you-
don't get anything
When you
stripped.
guys got Triss's
Yeah,
moose, you
like
guys had to
bacon.
take the ribs out, right?
No
Oh, you were able to debone it?
ribs. Yeah,
Oh shit! I've
They
never.
hunt a
I've never.
different area.
Yeah. I just didn't realize. I've never.
you guys are
done that.
required. Where's the area where you're
There's a
required to
bunch
take
of
all
areas.
on the
like
rib?
like everything.
Yeah, dude.
16, 13, you have to take the ribs.
All
Yeah.
upper
The
Hoffman.
ribs
dude.
come as
No,
You didn't
13.
know
You,
that?
have to take the ribs if you're on that party hunt thing.
No.
No, you have
No,
to
you gotta
take them
the whole
every
damn
time.
thing, dude.
Yeah. You have to cut the rib rack out.
Mm-hmm.
So
You have to bring the rib rack
I've
out.
always brought the rib rack.
says
separate
that in the
game plan.
regs?
Yeah, it does.
that's part of the on the bone.
Yep. On 16 and 13 for sure.
Almost every area.
I'm not sure
I
about
feel like-
20 or
except
12,
like the any bull areas.
19.
No, it's
Yeah.
still.
I
You
don't
take
know.
the ribs, man.
Yeah. So from here on out, you know what I'm saying?
And then he's gonna be able to slugging him out. He's like, "Fuck Daniel, fuck Jack, fuck Brandon."
That's why you bring the Sawzall, bro. Take the whole rest.
That's right.
There was
the
just a
Sawzall.
lot of like, I don't know. There's a lot of things about this hunt that, when you imagine it or listen to podcasts or listen or read articles on it, that
Okay, we're talking about
It feels
they're
more wild.
Shifting,
the
yeah,
Uhaul hunt.
yeah, Uhaul hunt 2023.
So you can.
So is this
one
a-
for what reason?
This
So
one was
13,
inside the hunt
19,
zone.
21,
Couldn't
23
shoot
through
it.
25. You're right.
Yeah. So I walked up on him with the GoPro.
I'll hunt any of those.
There you go.
You're good then.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of going to start working to see if he would push
How far would he have had to go?
like
We're
That
watching a
half a
caribou.
mile.
Oh, okay.
See
That
that
mound
mound
over
See
there?
that mound over there? No, it's that's just a gravel mound
Uh-huh.
for like a state like maintenance, like a big gravel.
He
like
just
a
had to
big-
go past that.
Yep. Yep.
Well, you did the wrong thing. You got to go on the other side and crack
He
it.
went past it.
We,
And
yeah,
then
we
go
did.
like this.
I know. I wanted to.
He went
Did he
past
ever?
it.
He did pass it.
Crazy story for that. We watched that bull get taken that night.
Oh, you guys just
Crazy-
didn't want to stay on
Crazy.
it. Or what?
Oh,
No, we
definitely stayed
we were
on
in
it.
we were in the parking spot that it got taken from,
Oh,
which was literally the line, and it's a road down to the edge of the sag, and there was a camper parked there that pulled in there. We pulled out to go into Dead Horse because
Was it a
we
mini-me?
weren't seeing any caribou,
right.
and so then we pulled back in, or then we came back. We spotted that caribou right on the road. So we just followed him for a minute and watched him. He was walking that way. And then so we're like, okay, well, he's heading that way. So we're going to go back to where we were. And at that point, well, we'd have to start all over.
Can we start
all
at the
this,
beginning?
but, yeah.
Well, I was going to say that's a fun story, and we can start with the
He
story.
got
but we
killed.
can
Let's just put it that way.
Well, I want to come back to that because it was actually pretty cool from our view to see it happen.
If it was-
Why don't you just
if it was-
finish that
if it-
and then Tarantino?
That's what I want to do.
If it was any other car group of people, however we want to define it, if it was any other people that we had seen up there, I'd be upset about that thing. But the people who got it were the only people that I met up there that I would be friends with.
Oh, really?
Yeah, or and
Yes.
Ken, 'cause we ran into Ken.
And Ken.
We ran into Ken up there.
Who's
But we
Ken?
already knew Ken. He wasn't new.
Roger's
He
brother,
wasn't
Ken.
new to us.
Ken,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Ken was up there?
Yeah, Ken ended up. We ran
He was
into
solo
him.
dolo.
So we'll come back to that story. Okay, we'll come back to that story. We got a little pre-season. All right, so I'll just reverse back, right?
Oh man.
So
namaste.
This is a
Namaste.
very
Namaste.
like long anticipated
Namaste.
hunt because you have a long drive before you can start hunting. So you got to drive all the way up from Anchorage to Fairbanks.
Yeah.
That's a haul.
Like 26-hour drive. to
Yeah,
the whole
we're
road,
you know it
whatever.
was a
know,
beautiful
17 or
beautiful
something.
morning.
Okay.
Beautiful morning, and you know we're cruising up. You get through the Nenana.
Was
Nenana
the
has
breeze out
fire.
of the east?
The Nenana, the fire's going, so
Oh.
it got really smoky,
No, it was out of the west.
and so that was interesting
Cranking
to
on some fires.
totally was ripping. And it was interesting because I guess it was nice to not have to deal with any forest fires all summer long. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we didn't have, with
No,
it being
no
so
fires
wet,
here, yeah.
there was no fires. And so to go through was
Said
like, oh,
no
shit.
one ever from the town of Fairbanks.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because coming back, it was really bad.
Well, they
But,
deal with that. That's yearly for them. Like that's
Yeah.
the new norm in Fairbanks. Like you're gonna deal with smoke.
But I mean, I guess, you know, a couple things that come to mind, like to start was, so we pulled up a picture of Chad's truck. The road wasn't as bad as maybe I had hyped it up to be a little bit to Chad.
Was it
some.
washboardy?
Not really.
Oh, nice.
I mean, some
It wasn't
areas,
as bad as you two said it was, and
Well,
it wasn't even in the same book as what
You've
read
read.
on forums from
Yeah.
people who are like, you need 3 spare tires, 2 sat phones, and emergency food for a month. And I'm barely joking about that. Emergency
I mean,
food
there
for a
is
month
like,
was like the
3
only thing
spares
that was
and
untrue
all that
about that
shit,
statement.
yeah.
Like I read a lot of shit that was
Yeah.
like, don't do it. You're gonna die.
Well, we did go on it once and it was really bad. But I think that depends on the rain.
It was probably one of the nicest dirt roads I've ever been on.
Yeah, it was very well maintained and taken care of this
800
time.
miles. 400 miles.
So we make the run through Fairbanks. I want to just real quick give a shout out to the boat shop in Fairbanks.
Fuck yeah.
They're a jet boat and boat dealer up there. We took our late great buddy
What's their
Jack's jet boat up there, helping the family get that up to them. They're going to go ahead and get it up for sale. Anyway, we hauled it up. That went really smooth.
You gotta say their name.
It was Dave and Gary.
But the name of the shop.
The boat shop. Right?
Oh, it's called the boat shop.
It's called the boat shop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The boat shop Fairbanks.
So that was just me that it went over.
Yes. So top notch service, really caring dudes. They took the boat in. I've dealt with them in the past with some of my own personal stuff, but just a top notch group of guys, ownership, the way they run it, their culture there. You can just tell it's a really, really great run operation. Drop the boat off, retool in Fairbanks, get some extra gear, fuel up.
The food.
Ended up bringing more fuel than we needed, technically.
Yeah. Well, we didn't realize we were going to be that close to Dead Horse and could,
go fuel up.
Yeah, I mean, it just, because it was pretty expensive from Coldfoot through, it was like $7.50 a gallon, I think, was fuel cost.
Same as Dead Horse.
So we did save money by loading up fuel. And, damn, it's crazy, too. We stumbled across like an old school gas station garage in Fairbanks, like the shit that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
It's got like a service station.
Yeah, they're working on cars.
And like you hear the shit like doing tires and then you got to go buy fuel. It's like, damn, these fucking things still exist.
Yeah.
It's Fairbanks, so it makes sense, but probably one of the last of its kind. But we made really good time beyond that point. I think we rolled into Coldfoot. We hit the Yukon quick. It's only like 100-something miles. Smooth roads.
Yeah, there was minor construction.
Oh, the one construction zone was fucking gnarly. Oh, I wonder if I have a video of that. I'm going to try and pull it up. Dude, we seen this fucking cat
rock truck.
The one that carries the giant boulders in like fucking 12 feet of mud.
Oh, what?
Just rallying.
It was you know how a rock truck is?
Yeah.
So you know how like from the front bumper, it's like sloped down to the drivetrain and they're on like 8-foot tires. This thing was pushing mud like almost up to the front bumper, up the slope. 3/4 of the tire.
That's insane.
And just pushing it like a river.
Oh, yeah.
Not even spinning the tire, like full load uphill.
Man.
Uphill?
Well, yeah, we're right next to it. And I'm just like, Brandon, look how much mud this. He's like, holy fuck. I got to. And the dude's just like cruising. He's like, brr. And he's like,
this is what I
gives
do.
us the fucking like.
We get it.
I found the video. I'll send it to you, Daniel, in a second. I had to pull it off the GoPro.
Crazy.
But that was, you drive by a lot of construction zones in Alaska in the summer. And you see, like, it's pretty cool when you go through, like, a Tonka truck construction zone. It's a major, like, fucking.
Yeah, they're putting in, like, a 12-foot prism for that road. We're moved over here, and they're below us.
Right.
Like, that's how heavy that prism is.
Yeah,
They're putting in for that road. It was crazy how much. And they had that whole thing backfilled by the time we came back.
Yeah, they did, which was crazy. I was like, where is that hole right
amazing,
there?
Man.
Yeah, it was pretty.
I just figured it was so soupy. I was just like, ooh, good luck with that, fellas.
Yeah.
You're just dumping gravel in that. Just lake.
Yeah, so we get to Coldfoot, and Coldfoot had their buffet going. So we filled up the truck.
Never got there in the buffet.
Yeah, we hit the buffet. Remember, we've always gone there and it's all empty trays.
Yeah,
we just got to order a burger.
We always miss the buffet.
Was
it good?
The burger's bomb though.
The food was great.
It was really good.
Well, I don't know. Every time you're coming
not
off
inexpensive.
10 days of hiking.
Definitely not inexpensive. But yes, the food was good.
Yep. So we left. I think we left Coldfoot around like 9 o'clock. So we left at 5:30 a.m. And we were in Coldfoot. I'm going to go back and find a timeline of a photo.
I think we left there at like 7 p.m.
9.
9.
I got a picture at 9 o'clock. It was like 9:15 when we rolled out. So I had thought, and this was another struggle that I had with this.
Yeah.
Was the like winging it part of this trip. where I think I want to have like a plan of like where we're going to camp and like where we're going to stop. And I like to have that preset notion that I know what we're doing, but we didn't do that. And Chad was really good about like, man, we'll just drive until we fucking want to stop.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, okay, cool, man. I got to just like,
Let go.
I gotta let that go, man, and just and let it be. And you know, I didn't think we would cover so much ground between 9 and midnight, but 4 hours gets you all the way up through Adigan, down the backside through Galbraith, and
What was the time frame again?
5:30 a.m. and we stopped driving at like midnight, 12:15, I think.
And
is
you were
about
all the way
time
through Adigan?
We were all the way down.
And this
to
is
like,
from Anchorage? Oh,
we
from
were
Fairbanks.
right before Adigan.
no, this is from Anchorage. 5:30 a.m.
Yeah.
We left at 5:30 a.m. on Monday, the 31st.
Did you hit that McDonald's on Muldoon?
No, we weren't ready to eat. Definitely not ready to eat.
We got coffee.
Shit, we didn't even get I had a coffee, but we didn't even stop for an official coffee until Jumpin' Jana's right before the big
Java's.
Jumpin' Java Jana Java.
Over near Talkeetna?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
is this the
so
video of the
early-
truck?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, speed it up a little bit. Hope I got a good video
Oh,
of it. I haven't
man.
seen it.
Oh, look at how deep that is.
Oh, dude, watch when he drops down in these holes.
Should probably turn that volume down. They're going to flag us on.
Oh, yeah.
Look.
Oh, man.
Oh.
And he like threw
Look
that
at how
thumbs
excited
up.
Chad is. Chad's like, oh, this is amazing.
So that was cool, you know, just like
That's my world. Heavy equipment. I love
Yeah,
it. The shit you can
badass.
do is like.
just fucking soup, dude.
Man, that's amazing.
It's just like waves of it.
But yeah,
it's all
Chad,
liquefied.
what did we get to like pump station like 4? I think
I think we
pump
got
station
past 4.
Past 4, yeah. I'm trying to remember.
Or no,
like,
That's pretty good, though.
We thought it was pump station 4, and it wasn't.
It was a
like
state- it was a
maintenance
state
thing,
maintenance deal.
which was before Adigan,
Okay.
right? Didn't we camp before Adigan?
oh yeah, we went past Galbraith.
So where exactly is the area where you can hunt for the
So
caribou?
you can start that unit.
Well, you can hunt in the unit lower than it. There's just no caribou.
Well-
but you can shoot 10 a day. 10 there.
So Yukon River to Coldfoot, Yukon River to Adigan Pass is like 24, and you can do 10 caribou, and it's there's like where was that creek?
Yeah,
That
I
was
don't
the
remember-
line
I
where
don't
it goes to
remember the name of it.
24, and then it goes to 3 caribou bulls, and then pretty much what we thought was the huntable area was the south side of the Brooks,
When you co-
Galbraith.
When you come down, when you
Mountains.
come out of Adigan, then you're in the.
Which, by the way, that is some of the most fucking beautiful scenery you'll ever see in your life driving through Adigan Pass.
Yeah.
Let me tell you that right now, man. Dalton,
Don't.
Oh, that's right.
Uhaul.
Not yet.
No, that is, I mean, it is some spectacular, and I mean spectacular. I don't say that lightly. It is like Lord of the Rings. Ooh, so epic in there.
It's a gnarly pass. Like, I couldn't imagine pulling a tandem trailer through there. Like, when you come south, the first pull up Adigan, I clocked it. It's like 2.1 miles of like
terrible, man.
7% grade.
Yeah.
pulling.
For like 2.1 miles.
Yeah, so for a tractor
Like, your
trailer, it's-
turbos are glowing in a
Oh,
semi.
yeah, man.
Yeah, it's
Like,
pretty
literally got to be just glowing.
So that photo I sent you guys of his truck that night, because I had cell phone reception at pump station. I want to say that was 4. That was pump station 4. Yeah, that was pump station 4, and I was able to get cell phone, so I sent you guys his truck
Yeah, that was a good one.
that night. Yeah, so yeah, we got we got through Well, okay, backing up. Is that
This looks like Coldfoot.
that's Glittertown. Yeah, that's just going through
Denali.
good old Denali. You know, it was hustling and bustling and
Beautiful,
tourists and
man.
everybody,
what a
dude.
nice day.
That was a gorgeous drive up, man. We got really blessed with good weather.
If you're going to Denali, stop into the Cash Whitna Art Gallery and see Justin Justin Frescione.
Say, hey, Fresh.
Hey, Fresh.
Hit me on the tape.
Yeah.
Real fresh like. Yeah, so
Nice.
so in my mind, I'm like, oh yeah, dude, we're like in real caribou country.
Yeah. And this is
Adigan.
after you go over Adigan?
Yeah. Through Adigan, you drop down, you get in.
Are you looking for caribou already? Or
Nah,
Not then. It was so late.
No? Yeah.
It was in the morning. I got up at about 5.
Well, back up. We went through Galbraith, which is a pretty well-known landmark on the
Yeah.
Dalton. It's got the airstrip. It's got a dope campground that you can
It's
drive
after
back.
you drop over?
Yep. You're rolling out of the brooks, still in the brooks, but
Yeah.
like at the very southern as it starts to
Foothills.
like slow down to the
The
foothills.
north side foothills.
North side foothills, correct. And so
It's a dope picture.
yeah, that's actually on the sag right there. A great shot. I feel like we had already run in with a caribou. By
So there's an airstrip there in Galbraith?
yeah, really
and did
nice.
they have
airstrip.
ab fuel?
I bet
would
they
imagine.
did.
It's a
Oh, you could stop your
it's a
plane in there.
it's a you can land whatever you want there.
Yeah, if you needed fuel, you can stop in there for fuel. Absolutely.
I mean, you could land a DC-5, a Herc, like
Oh, really?
whatever
Oh,
you
it's
want.
a
It's
massive airstrip.
a mile
legit one.
Yeah,
runway.
so they
Has an
got
air traffic.
ab-
Has
Yeah,
an
it's
air,
a
for
legit
sure.
runway.
air traffic office and
Yeah.
fueling station and shed and all that stuff.
What's the gas cost there?
Yeah, I don't
Per
know.
gallon.
Yeah.
They weren't
Would
open.
I-
There was
hit
no
the
one in
trivia
it.
button.
Like I imagine that place is kind of like a scheduled thing, or maybe you can. Maybe it's just like a card, like in Dead Horse is like you go in and you do this little kiosk thing.
Yeah, they have 2 credit card swipers.
It authorizes it. It's like it's different gas pumps.
That was
I
kind of
just
cool way to
paid
do it.
$10 a gallon in Squintina for avgas. So up there, man, it's got to be like
15.
Well, it's
Yeah.
$7.50 for regular unleaded.
fuel.
So
yeah,
and they don't
It's gotta be like
offer
15.
Supreme.
it's got to be like
Oh, there's
15
one.
or something.
yeah,
go ahead.
I imagine.
Oh yeah, so I guess where I was getting to the perception versus reality moment of the hunt was when we got out of Galbraith and we thought, oh, this is like where I feel like we'd start seeing caribou, or man, it'd be really cool to hunt caribou in like the high country so we could have elevation and see, because I'm like,
Right.
man, I always hear about the flat, no cover, and it's hard stocks, and I'm like, well, it'd be awesome if we could see them. So we rolled through out of Galbraith, and you're kind of like, man, I don't know if you're going to see caribou up here. Started to kind of like doubt that.
Why?
It just didn't feel caribou-y. I don't know. It was still light enough in the evening we
It
could
felt
see.
caribou to me, but when the next morning when I was glassing and I'm looking at hillsides and there's no lines, there's
No game
there's
trails.
no sign of game trails,
Right.
and I was like, oh, this isn't like Eureka. Like
Right.
Eureka, like you don't even need to be glassing. Like
Right.
you just naked eye, you see like this is a migration path.
Right.
Obviously.
Right.
I didn't get that
Yeah.
anywhere up there.
Yeah, you don't see them actually
Yeah.
until like Dead Horse.
That reminds me a lot about like the sheep hunt last week, where like we used to go up there and see like established sheep trails,
Yeah.
and you could find like the old established sheep shells.
They were still beat
but
down.
They weren't like used anymore, kind of shit. It was creepy.
That's because there was no sheep
It was
to
like
walk on.
yeah, it was like ghost towny
Yeah.
game trails.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, keep going.
Yeah, so that set in, and then we found a really nice little spot in a creek, and we camped and we recharged our batteries. Chad's an animal. This dude, we set up camp. I don't even think we ate.
No, we ate
Did we eat?
Yeah,
we
we
had some
ate
dogs or
something,
something
yeah.
simple.
chicken.
Yeah, fried chicken. And then get up the next morning, and he's already up shuffling around, and I'm like, fuck, dude, I get up out of a fog, like, where am I? You know, we got to bed at like maybe 2:00 in the morning. It was, got up at 4, so it was just, how you get onto that 24-hour being awake mode where you start, like, you're just a delirious basket case. Anyway, so I hear an arrow, like, thump. I'm like, oh, shit.
Oh, you're practicing?
Yeah, he's up.
No, man.
So he gets up and does a cold plunge
Nice.
in the creek behind the camp.
It was at Clearwater.
And
yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, really nice.
I sent him a little. I did a
Was
little
this
time.
it?
I did a time lapse.
no,
Oh, you did? Oh, let's see the time lapse.
He has it. Daniel has it.
I have it.
Yeah.
Oh, you sent it to me.
I'm
Okay.
saying time.
I want to see it.
But I was really motivated to get up and
That's awesome,
He
bud.
had and he ran an arrow through my block that I brought.
Is it this one?
No.
Go up. Up.
Should
Daniel.
send it to, I know, but I think you sent it to me later. No, okay.
There's one that I think it's in that line, man.
Is it this one?
Well, that's a different.
No,
No.
That was
there's
Chad,
nothing there.
Chad the Savior there.
those are all Brandon.
I think that was one that didn't
Go
come
down.
through.
That was a group of them.
It's
Maybe
probably-
it's in that. Oh no, I don't know. Those are all Brandon's.
What's going on here though?
Oh, this is where I
Crossing
was
the
like,
sag.
this is where I told Brandon before this trip, like, hey, I got these dope overboots and they're dope because I'll just bring
Toss
one
them back
pair
to
and then
you.
I'll throw them back to you.
No, none of that happening.
No one told me this.
Brandon's just in the water with his
40
boots.
yards.
Oh, the sag's huge, man.
He shows them too, doesn't he? Show your boots.
No one can find this crossing right here. We found it immediately.
Yeah.
What?
Everybody
Well, you
was
could just
scared.
look at that. It looks like you can cross it.
All these people. No,
used to
there's
see-
big holes. Like we're on a bar that's like, you have to watch where you're going. Luckily, it's clear.
You get washed
So you
down.
can follow the bar,
easily.
but there's deep spots for sure. Like, I mean, you saw Caribou cross it and they were swimming.
Yeah, a couple times they're up to their necks for sure.
What
That was
pack?
just a really, really
Did you
long,
see some boo on the other side you're looking at?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the day we had a group.
Oh, you did.
Yeah, we saw him instantly.
Was anyone else trying to stock these?
Well, yeah. So he'll get to that. We're
okay.
getting close to that
all right.
in the story. But yeah,
Yeah. So we get up and he's all cold plunging
But,
and fucking shooting arrows.
like
and
so, I'll tell you because you'll actually love this. So, Sornex Outdoors, my buddy Bert, they did this thing where they joined forces with this company out of North Carolina or South Carolina or North Carolina, one of the Carolinas, called Clean Eats. And so they did this challenge starting August 1st. And it was
Oh yeah.
that you got up in the morning, you got a glass of water, whatever, brush your teeth. Then you go outside and you take one cold bore shot
Yeah.
at whatever yardage you pick.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they sent out stickers to people who signed up. So if you hit the vitals at whatever yardage, then you got to eat breakfast.
Ah,
If you missed, you didn't get to eat
I
breakfast.
love this.
If you
Pretty
miss,
sweet.
you shoot that same yardage the next day until you finally eat.
Yeah.
If you made it, you go a yard back. And you do that August 1st through August 15th.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I'm going to be hunting caribou.
yeah.
So it's a little more, the consequence is a little higher
Much
for me
higher,
because
yeah. The only time
I'm
you
hunting.
eat breakfast, yeah.
Yeah. So I get up. So I forget my target at my house. So we're at Brandon's. I'm like, dude, forgot the target.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to be shooting and
Yeah, for
practicing
sure.
regardless to this, but I
Downtown.
wanted to do this. Like I wanted to participate. And it was a thing where like, I don't know, you post to Instagram, which I obviously wasn't going to be able to do that or do that anyway, but you can win this like 3-month supply
Get
of
that on
clean
IG,
eats,
bro?
which is like a, dietary plan. They send meals to you.
Oh, let's go.
And so, dude, I shoot his target. And this happened to me. We went shooting at me and Billy Crum went out to the range at Kincaid.
Yeah.
And it was raining. And I fire at the 40-yard target to start at the range. And I shoot 3 arrows and I walk up to the target and I'm
Can't
like,
find them.
and I'm like, what the fuck? And at the same time, Crum had shot a different target, but he shot the wrong target.
Oh, nice.
Like he ranged and then he set his dial and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
he wound up shooting the wrong target. So I was like, damn.
Did I do that?
So I'm talking shit to him and then I'm like, fuck, did I shoot the wrong target? And I look and I had no idea that. I mean, obviously water's going to lubricate your arrow,
Yeah.
but my arrows passed through those
Yeah,
targets
yeah,
at
for
Kincaid.
sure.
So then I had to start shooting like 60, 70, and 80. And 80 was the only thing I wasn't getting past through.
Okay.
And I
well,
was
you
like,
got those like really smooth field tips.
we got heavy
They're,
arrow.
like, big
And
heavy.
they have a collar. So like the tip is definitely bigger than the shaft. So
Mine too.
They slip through pretty easy. Yeah, there you
Typically
go.
how those are constructed, yes.
I believe that's how it works.
Weird.
But
Well, he fires one of those fucking things through that block that morning.
Yeah,
yeah,
He's
so
like,
now I lost the arrow.
I don't want to lose
Oh, you
arrows.
couldn't find it?
And I'm like, I don't even know where I hit because he has one of those targets that's like stack of sheets.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't leave a mark. So
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah,
well, I'm
it's clean
fucking
through.
eating. And I was like, yeah, I guess we're done with this whole experiment because
Oh, you didn't have the sticker though?
I was like,
The sticker would have
no,
shown it.
I didn't get the sticker.
Okay.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't think I signed up online.
So
and
I
didn't
get up
it
and
sent
he's
to
like,
me.
I already cold plunged and lost an arrow. I'm like, fuck, I'm behind the schedule, bro.
And maybe the sticker.
What
maybe
about
the-
coffee?
Can we have coffee?
So did you get breakfast?
Yeah,
you
I
earned the
don't
breakfast.
really eat breakfast anyway, so I
Yeah,
was
I
like,
wouldn't
this
really
thing.
eat
But originally I'd called my buddy Bert. I text Bert like, whatever, Instagrammed him, and I was like, dude, what range are you starting at? And he was like 60. I was like, fuck, dude, is this a diet?
Yeah,
I was like,
no
what do you
shit.
mean starting? We're starting at
Fuck,
60.
brutal.
I was like, dude, I'm not starting at 60.
Start at 40?
I start at 50.
All right.
But
Did you notice that first shot?
I don't
in
even
the
know where I
morning?
hit. I just know I lost
Is
an arrow.
usually
I
the
was
best.
like, damn, we're down one arrow.
I did
I
that
agree.
Saturday morning. I just went right out with a cup of coffee and just like, it was like, it was nice in the morning. So I just went out there real quick, shoot a couple. I was like, just all clean, nice, tight group. I was like, damn, is that how it is when you're hunting? When you haven't shot in a couple of days and then,
Not if you're me.
oh, for a
Not,
shot.
not if you're stocking something. It's not.
Yeah,
if you-
I didn't
yeah.
think so.
Yeah, the blood changes.
We can talk chat about
Yeah.
that here in a little bit.
Let's
but
not.
so official day one, that was like main logistics day. And I feel like if you were really, really dialed in with your logistics and you didn't do the cold foot stop and say you brought fuel, you could probably get damn near to hunting zone in a day.
Well, we were in hunting zone.
I know, but I mean, as far as
were.
we thought we were. Okay, true. I mean, technically, you kind of are.
We got to exactly where we were trying to get to. I mean, you were thinking we were going to camp on the south side of the Brooks, and I was like, I drive a lot.
I
and
just
don't mind
didn't
it.
realize
Like,
that we were going to
I'd
cover that
rather
much
just-
ground.
I'd rather just wake up and be glassing.
It's just
So
weird because
I had that
So
mindset.
you made it over at again then?
yeah, first day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah, we were in the
roll
area.
up and over midnight. We crashed. We're around like pump station 4 or 3. All right, and that's only like 100 and something miles out of Dead Horse. So on the next day, we're like, well, fuck. I guess we're already this close. We know we're good on fuel now. We might as well just go to Dead Horse at this point.
Well, we just drove the road because I glassed for an hour and a half, and I saw 2 lone caribou, and they didn't have any headgear.
They weren't shooters.
They didn't have headgear.
Nah.
Like they didn't have a rack. So I was like, well,
And that was from where you camped?
yeah, just sitting on the river.
And then were you going up like every 15 minutes? Like,
yeah, we were
glassing?
glassing every section that we thought looked
Yeah,
like
we're
it had
just
something,
driving and
or if
glassing.
we thought we saw something, we were glassing constantly all the way to, and then we got to like pump station 2, which is 50 something miles to Dead Horse, and at that point we hadn't seen one thing,
Yeah, road's fully paved at that point too.
and so
it is? When you get over the other
from
side?
Yeah.
from 2 to Dead Horse, it's paved the whole way.
All the last like 60
So
miles is paved.
at that point, Brandon was like, "I've never been to Dead Horse," and I was like, and I had no idea how much like driving we were going to be doing. So I was like, okay, well, I work there, but I worked 16-hour days
Yeah, no
grooving,
shit.
grooving a runway and left.
Yeah.
So I never did anything. So I was like, let's just go to Dead Horse and get fuel. So we're not using any of the fuel. We had like 45 gallons in the truck, but I had no clue how much driving we were going to be doing, which we needed it.
Yeah, I mean, we needed it for that, but we technically could have filled up in Dead Horse and then topped off again.
45 gallons in the
And
truck.
topped off again in Cold Foot.
Yeah, we had 2 15s and 3 5s.
Damn.
4 5s.
Yeah, we were extra cautious on the fuel thing,
I
and he
guess
has
we
a
have
small
50
tank in his truck, but his truck's actually really fuel efficient and ended up being like really, really, really efficient, and we didn't need much. But, well, it was very,
Ford
I guess when my point I was getting to was it was very casual approach on that first day as we were like, well, let's just go to Dead Horse. I mean, at this point, we've driven the whole fucking highway, really haven't seen any caribou at this point. So hopefully we get toward the end and maybe we'll start seeing some. And sure as shit, you get out of pump
25
station
miles.
2, about 25 miles out. there's a head of like 20 or like 200 across the sag out on the gravel bar. And there's some random trucks off to the side, and we're looking.
There's like 5 trucks.
Like no one's making a fucking play. They're just glassing them.
These caribou, big bulls, are standing on the other bank, 40 yards.
Right.
Their longest shot. If you walk to the near bank and they're on the far bank, 40 yards.
Oh, really?
And I was like,
Why aren't they shooting?
Well, there's no shooting to be done, but it's just
I didn't
no
know.
one's making a play.
I didn't
Why
know what
isn't
the
there
etiquette
shooting
was.
be done?
Well, I didn't know what the etiquette
Well, there's
was.
no. You weren't going to shoot those things at
40 yards?
Nah, dude, they were 1,000 yards off the road.
No. When
what
we
are we talking
first
about?
drove into Dead Horse,
Yeah.
when we first saw those things, they were standing on the riverbank. When we pulled up and there was like 6 carloads of dudes who were all talking to each other, and I was like,
They were down there laying on the ice and shit.
no. When we first were on our way to Dead Horse,
Yeah.
and we decided we're going to Dead Horse to get fuel, and I was like, dude, there's caribou, and there's like a group of there was some on the ice, but there was some big bull.
That small group of bulls, though.
Oh, like 10 though.
Yeah.
Big bulls standing right
Okay,
on the river.
right.
So I'm like,
And it's in the open area?
yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
that's an all day shot. I was like, I don't know what's going on because there's already 5 or 6 cars parked, right? So we just stopped because I'm like, here's a whole bunch of caribou.
Yeah.
We made it. We're here. We've arrived. And I was like, cool. This is exciting. But we're looking at I was like, well, etiquette wise,
Are they pulling their bows out? Or?
there's dudes standing there with bows. There's guys standing out of trucks talking to other guys. But no one, I was like, do these groups all have one guy who went across the river? I was like, I don't understand what's going on. I'm looking at the river. This is our first time really looking at the river other than when I went in it for a cold plunge. But I'm like, it was shallow.
Right.
So I'm looking at it. I'm like,
What's the problem?
I didn't know. So I was asking Brandon, I'm like, Brandon's like, fuck, I don't know. I was like, but why is everyone, why is no one shooting one of them right
Yeah,
there?
right.
I guarantee you could walk down to the near bank and they are not even going to move because they have that barrier.
Right.
That's why they're over there.
Right.
They're not worried. Because, I mean, we're only 30 yards from the near bank.
Right.
The highway's close.
Yeah, you walk 30 yards.
So
you got a
we
shot.
just decided we're like, well, we don't really know how this is working, so let's just do our Dead Horse thing, and then let's come back. We know there's caribou here now, so it's literally
this is
beginning
where
of
we're gonna
day
be
one.
hunting. Yeah.
Beginning of day one. So let's just go get our shit done in Dead Horse and come back. That's what we did. So we left that.
Yeah. Well, and Daniel stepped away, but I shared. I think I sent you guys maybe some videos during that day we went through Dead Horse, and the caribou were laying down next to the fuel trucks in the shade.
Mm-hmm. Well, first
big-ass bulls.
we roll in and you get in and have you been there?
I worked there for 17 years.
Okay, so you
were in Dead Horse too, Jack?
I've been in Den Horse a lot.
Okay,
Like the
I figured
Dalton
as much.
tees to go to the operations, and it's
Yep.
there's a sign. It's like Arctic Ocean.
Yep.
And the rules of it, and there's literally 2 big bulls standing right
Yeah,
there
yeah, yeah.
by the Arctic Ocean sign.
yeah,
so we're
yeah.
we're
And
watching
a flock
that.
of bugs above them. Yeah.
We're watching that, and then we're just kind of cruising around. We're trying to figure out where the store is and the gas station and all that, and then we cruise through ASRC's yard because it's nice, and there's
Yeah,
literally
nice,
well, we got out. I guess we went through there because not because it's nice,
Yeah.
but because we got out and we were filming and taking photos of those bulls, and they just lazily walk across the road and they go in there. So we follow them in there, and then there's 3 more, and they're just laying down in the shade under a fuel.
Oh, these are all the ones that are across the river when you guys stop. Oh yeah, you could have easily walked up the side of the river and taken one.
Right?
But that's farther than it looks.
It's still not over.
Well, there's a better perspective of the distance here in a second.
There was
And
a
the
few.
truck.
There was a few right on the bank.
Okay, there you go. There's a little bit more.
What's the problem?
These guys got one in the rack, got one there. So you see the distance between the road.
Man, what was
Right,
anyone
so there's
crossing
the
the
road.
stream and trying to get ahead of them?
We did.
Oh, you did.
No.
But this is further down the road, though. That's the second group.
I mean, it looks like you can cross right here.
You can't.
Oh, hell no.
That's deep as
No,
shit.
no,
Did you guys bring a pack raft?
No.
Oh, man.
Nobody did?
That was...
We made one.
When we talk about, like, the do's and don'ts and some of the mistakes and... not even mistakes, just learning lessons of
learning
of what to do. Which, I mean, there were some things where maybe I was like a little frustrated or disappointed, or maybe there was like despair that set in where it felt like it wasn't going to come together. But as we covered day one, this was our greatest opportunity and the most action that we got for our entire hunt. I'll do another water, please. And this is when we rolled into town right here. Jack, you know this scene.
Oh yeah.
There's just two monster bulls. Just
Why can't you? Can't they're not?
they're in a no hunt zone.
Yeah. Well, one really big bull.
Yeah, they're just nice. Yeah, you're right. The one was pretty exceptional caribou there. So as you enter Dead Horse, there's a
This is like in town, dude.
Yeah, this is like you've reached the end of the haul road, Daniel. Thank you. And you got the sag on the right, and you roll into town, and then there's this marker that's like non-restricted, no hunt zone. And it was really the coincidence is very funny that all the biggest, nicest bulls that we saw in the whole hunt were primarily over in that no hunt zone area, in the river basin where the sag kind of starts separating before it dumps into the Arctic Ocean. And and right there, like it's almost like they know that.
I mean, from between here and where it dumps in the Arctic Ocean's like another 10 or 15 miles.
Okay, that's what I thought.
It
looks like it goes way out there.
It's a long way.
Okay,
but these caribou, like, they don't seem to like really jet to the mountains until like the first like storm. So you see them around, but then you get this blizzard on August 20th in Prudhoe, and then all the caribou are gone.
They shift out. Yes, well, some local dude that was working a flagging area, pump station 3-ish, I think, said that his son said that they leave usually around November, and they go to the mountains. That's their typical. That's lately. That's just lately.
Yeah,
he said in November they're all in pump station 4.
Oh
yeah,
I believe that. Yeah. I mean September is like December here. So September 15th, like September 15th, it is winter. So there's this window between like maybe like August 15th, probably August 25th, and like September 15th, where like you're gonna get some like no see blizzards, like you wouldn't want to be out there, kind of shit.
Yeah, and
that's like right when that comes, like the caribou are gone. They start like all moving.
Well, I feel like the ones, even the bigger group we saw, I feel like that's not really part of that porcupine herd.
Yeah,
like those are kind of resident.
Oh, okay.
They acted like resident kind of caribou that hang out there a lot. Man. Don't really migrate far. Kind of maybe they go to pump station 4 or something. They don't go much further. Yeah, I don't.
Daniel,
it definitely wasn't. We didn't find any herd, and that was the most we saw.
Okay.
And that day,
like the big herd is like. I mean, you see thousands moving together.
We came back from Dead Horse back to them.
So this is when we.
That was the day we did make
that first day.
Oh, okay.
So we had a cow and a calf right on the road.
Man,
yeah, I think this is our way. This is on our way back that day, right?
I think this is going into Dead Horse, I believe. Because there were sags
on
the right.
All these guys hunting?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
So like, how many hunters are you seeing?
I mean,
I haven't seen one
like
U-Haul
10,
yet,
like 100.
I don't know how many videos I've got of an actual U-Haul guy. But
10 at every given moment on this section of the road for sure.
I said something to these
really?
boys about
at a minimum.
So in a day you'll see like 100.
Hunters? No, you see the same.
You see the
10
same
or 12,
guys.
10 to 15 dudes.
Yeah, that's right.
That one dude was super camoed out.
They all. It's cool. It's a Kuyu catalog
for caribou.
Those are all caribou back there.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this, like, we were like, oh shit, day one. Yeah, this is what's up. Best day. Fell off after that.
Oh really?
Dramatically.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we go into town. We get the fuel, Now we're like, well, shit, let's go back to where that group is and let's figure out what the hell's going on. So we get back. Now those trucks had now moved on. So it's almost like the consensus.
And the caribou pushed back from the river onto this.
Did.
Like, we didn't know at the time. It looked like snow, but you couldn't really tell. But they're on this ice. And they're chipping at the ice, licking the minerals.
Oh.
Yeah, there was like a white, minerally, like salty.
And no one was hunting those ones?
No.
Because I mean, all we can figure is that none of these dudes wanted to cross that river.
Oh.
So we sat there.
Did you guys bring shorts and stuff and sandals? You can just cross in that.
Yeah,
Well,
we definitely did.
I had those little overboot. I mean, you see us crossing. That's when we
it was
crossed.
60,
it
it was
is.
like
We
60
went
degrees.
across after.
Oh,
them.
you did? All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we parked in a spot and
was like,
like
we
where
gotta-
we saw the caribou, and they had moved back, and they looked like they were like bedding down on the ice and laying down and licking it, and they were like they weren't going anywhere. I just this is a video of those bulls in town. This is ASRC's yard.
Yeah, there's like 3 other bulls on the other side of that truck.
Delay sure is kind of annoying, huh?
The what?
The delay.
Oh.
It's all good.
It's a robot.
Yep.
Man, they're so little for how big their horns are.
I know they're awkward animals, aren't they?
And look how narrow that one guy is compared to the other dude. And then there's
Dude.
those dudes like,
Oh, yeah, hiding between.
shady over here, dog.
They're always under the pipeline.
Yeah, shade.
Yep. Shade.
Some racks.
Like a little wind tunnel.
I mean, it was so just like, what the hell, man? I mean, we're you just go 2 miles out of town and you're hunting, but those guys aren't out
I'm
there.
like, go fight that guy. Go fight that guy.
That's funny.
Yeah. So now we go back. It's midday now. It's like 2 or 3 in the afternoon. We burned some time in Dead Horse and dinked around in there. So we park and I'm looking. I'm like, Chad, I think we can fucking cross across that flat right there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, worst case scenario, it's like waist deep, like nut deep.
Yeah.
We could probably push in there. It's like 68 to 70. It's nice.
Yeah, man.
I'm like, dude.
Go in your underwear, dude. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, so we went real light.
We just needed like when we came through, we just didn't know. I was like, I don't know what the etiquette is.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, we didn't want to
Like,
jump on the
all
hunt.
the-
We just saw these
you
other
know,
trucks.
If you're in if I'm somewhere and I have a camp, I felt like I'm in there's 5 other truckloads
Yeah.
of hunters. So it's like,
Yeah.
well, who was here first?
Yeah, that's right.
Who pulled up first?
Yep.
So we couldn't just
Yeah.
jump out. When we came back, they were gone.
They were
Right.
gone, so we parked the truck. We evaluated the situation. We decided to throw our packs on. Let's just go to the river and see if we can find a spot. So we crossed a little spot. We're like, all right, cool, halfway. Eyeball it. He throws his cute little overboots on. I'm like, I'm going to walk him dry. So that was the video we took. It was only really like knee high at any given time.
It didn't look
we just
bad at
zigzagged
all.
across. We get across and we're like, fuck yeah, dude.
So
we're in
how
the- we're in the
far are they
camp.
now when you get across?
They're kind of they're pushed back from the river about 100 yards.
Do they see you?
Yeah, I'm sure
Yeah.
they saw us
Yeah.
cross. I mean, they have bad eyesight, but they didn't. And then we went downstream. Once we got
Feel
across,
all,
like
they could just
away.
feel
we
all
went
the
away
pressure,
from
I
them,
think, man.
and we knew the wind. The wind was very prominent to blowing from the river to them. So I was like, we got to get behind them.
Yeah.
So that's what we did, and we took a long route, and we tried to stay in the little braided
we-
creek.
Did you
Killed
guys
it,
leave
dude.
one person where like another person would
No,
push them?
no, we
to?
wasn't
Not
staying-
yet.
No, we weren't gonna
Not
do
that.
the whole like pushing them thing. We
No,
were just
I
like-
meant like the accidental push. Like if they feel the pressure, so then they go.
Oh, we weren't
towards
really there
them.
yet. We were just going to get to that point
Yeah.
where we were going to start making moves.
Yeah.
Where
they
And then
were they were so grouped up on that ice that we couldn't even hunt them anyway. Not with a bow.
the group of bulls that were in there, they were
because it was like you would literally have
bunched.
to intentionally shoot them in the shoulder blades so you don't have pass through.
Right.
You couldn't have shot. So we were just gonna get like they're gonna spread out at some point and start feeding again. It was like noon maybe.
Oh no, it was later than that. It was really late. It was like mid afternoon. It was like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon at that point.
We were
we
in
got
Dead
across
Horse
there.
that long.
So you guys just
Yeah.
waited it out to see?
When you were
Yeah,
like,
Well, either way, it's light till
Yeah.
well, it doesn't get dark.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's light till tomorrow.
We crossed the creek at 4:00 in the afternoon.
Oh, see, that's why I had
when you're coming up behind them and meandering, were you able to like stay low enough they couldn't see you?
Yeah, we could stay in we followed all these little like braided creek bed things and
like little low nooks where the
so,
water cut.
We stayed away from them. We were in on it. We were in it. And by the time we got into it, like they stayed huddled up. We were hoping they would move somewhere. We were watching them forever. We're behind them.
And they see you still or no?
They're not seeing us. No, they don't know we're there.
No, not
they
at
don't
that
know we're
point.
there at all. And we have the wind now for sure, like drastically. It's pretty strong wind. And so I was like, hey, I'm gonna move to this other area because I think eventually they're gonna step up out of that creek bed, the ice they're on, because we could really only see their racks, and they're gonna start feeding on this thing. So I'm gonna move over here, and then in my moving there slowly and crawling and whatever, they moved, and so I got caught before I got to the bushes I wanted to sit behind.
Yeah.
And then they moved. A small group of them moved.
Fast or?
Oh, they just got up and started feeding. So I was pinned down, and it was at that point I realized, like, if I just keep my hat low and I don't make eye contact, like, they're not really worried about me. They can't smell me, so they don't care. So they're kind of just like, they look at you, but if you just hold still, they're just feeding.
Go, Chad.
Look at them all.
You can hear them.
Oh my God, that's a lot. 100 or so.
Yeah, maybe more. See a few bulls in there.
Oh, am I in that picture?
You didn't put on your.
This is after they pushed.
Am I over to the left crying?
Yeah.
You got to put your browns on.
Okay, so what happens?
Okay, so I was looking at the timeline. So we crossed it around 4:00 in the afternoon. We really got in position about 6:45. So it was about a 2-hour process from the time we got across the river.
And they're going towards the road now?
No, they're like they're away from the road.
Oh, okay.
Like if you're looking out from the road to the river, there's like that river that you saw. And beyond that was like scattered braids. In the middle was frozen ice.
Okay.
And then just a little bit beyond that, maybe like another quarter mile, half mile, probably quarter mile.
Was another
braid of the sag. So they were like on a gravel bed between highway, sag braid, kind of high country area, and then another braid. So we were working our way in the nooks and crannies and what little bit of brush was in there to get into position to this point where we were on a spot, and then the decision was made that we were going to separate and not try to get into position together, that we felt with all the eyeballs that was on us, because even though it was, and let me be clear, these caribou we got close to, but it's not like you got in like shootable positions.
Like, how far were you from them?
Well, by the time before, let me back up. So at this point, we're like within maybe like a few hundred yards as they're kind of rotating around and moving. But they kind of did like a circular thing on the gravel bar. So by us kind of finally sitting put and just staying still, and then Chad putting himself into a little position separated from me, kind of his foresight was they're going to rotate around and walk around right there. And he fucking nailed it. Those things rotated around, walked around, and I think he got within 20 yards.
Oh, really?
Oh, he
So what the
officially
fuck?
got in.
What happened? You missed?
I don't want to talk about it.
That's why we're here, man. We're here to talk about it.
No, we're gonna fast forward to the following day right now.
But they did circle back, and you had like an opportunity.
Yeah. So in this video,
shit
in
the
this,
fucking bed.
Oh,
in
no.
this-
You got to shoot and miss?
Yeah.
Everyone does. Was it on a real nice one, or?
the biggest,
the biggest one in the
group.
herd.
Oh,
really?
my
And it was 20 yards.
Yeah.
Damn. Did you not eat breakfast the
Bug
next day?
fever or what?
He didn't have dinner, nothing. Chad, you're going to bed
I
hungry.
haven't eaten since then.
He's withering away.
It happens to everybody. So
Does it?
Man.
You miss over?
Well, it's crazy.
I feel like that's the thing that you say when
Miss over.
to make someone feel better.
It happens to
It
everybody.
happens to everybody. So it's happened to you? You missed that 20 yards?
I've missed animals I should have killed before.
Oh.
I'll put it
I
that
think
way.
that happens a lot. Archery.
Does it?
Yeah.
I missed
hear
the
a
sheep
lot of
I should have
people-
killed before.
Why do you
for
think you
sure.
missed?
Oh, I know exactly why I missed. But I'm not going to say because it's kind kind of a.
Fundamental.
I will off the air. I will tell you
Okay.
exactly
Okay.
why I missed.
All right.
Well, so from
But
my
it's
perspective,
not an excuse at all. Like I should not have fucking missed. Period.
Yeah.
No, it's 20 yards, dude. Come on.
Do you see where your arrow
Could
went?
have thrown my fucking knife. Yeah, right over its back.
well, what was kind of painful.
Luckily,
What was kind of painful. Was,
luckily, I missed the way I missed because I didn't hit another animal.
Yeah, that was great.
Because I was
that
fucking
was great.
when I saw that bull not react,
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, which one of these motherfuckers is falling down?
Yeah.
Right.
Because I was like, at that
Yeah.
point, I was like,
Did you have time to load another arrow up or? Yeah.
No way you missed again.
not from 20 yards,
Different shot,
Yeah.
kind of rushed, quarter.
not 20 yards,
Yeah. Okay.
I missed the shots
Damn.
because I
probably
was
40
You
yards.
missed too.
No. I missed.
You guys just flinging arrows all over.
No, I didn't have.
No, we're not.
I
Dude,
got to the
fuck
point
no,
of
no.
knocking arrows as far as I
You
got.
lit him on fire and shot him out.
Well, he was trying to.
45 degrees.
His plan was he was filming.
Yeah.
So, but he didn't see. He couldn't see me where I was because I wasn't to where I was supposed to get, which
Oh.
he could have seen.
Yeah.
Because I got caught.
and I
in
didn't
the-
want to
in the transition.
And I didn't want to stand up at the camera and
And
look
he
because
didn't
I was
wanna
like,
s-
"Fucking."
Were you standing up?
We finally
I was
had
on
him
my
coming
knees.
in. You know, we were
You
like,
shoot for your
didn't want to blow
shot
it.
from my knees.
You do
I
that.
felt like-
sometimes or
Oh yeah, all the
Yeah.
time.
It was going epically to plan, dude. It was going so well planned.
I
unfortunately-
couldn't believe it because when I got caught, I was like, oh fuck, I'm blowing out all this shit. Mm-hmm. And they were like not reacting that much to me as long as I just didn't move, and I was just holding my bow, and I was like sitting on my feet, on my knees, you know, because I was crawling on my knees and hands and knees to get to where I got, and so I was like, when they caught me, I just like sat back on my feet, which were like numb by the time, you know, they started moving enough to where, and they were spread out enough where I felt safe enough to take a shot without worrying about a pass through,
Yeah.
killing another animal,
Yeah.
especially when my bow's going through targets.
yeah.
So I was super worried about that. And then, yeah,
Well, it was painful because
he was filming.
I was filming.
Or
I
trying to
realized I
film.
couldn't see him anymore. I didn't want to blow it, so I put the camera down. I just got my cell phone out because they were getting closer and closer and closer. And I'm like, oh shit, I might actually
How
have an
far
opportunity.
away? From you?
I was able to get a range. It was 57 yards from where I was at, and they were walking toward me, but like angled,
Yeah.
and in a big ass group.
Yeah.
That was. I feel like this
They were moving.
was a. Yeah, well, this is after Chad had shot, so I had grabbed my camera back up because they were coming at me, and I put the camera down. I stopped it, put it down. I knocked an arrow because I thought, well, if Chad plugs one and they just keep walking by me, I'm gonna have like a 30-yard shot, like broadside. They're gonna walk right in where I'm sitting on that gravel bar. But when he had his mishap, they shifted and started going kind of away.
But
And that's where you see this
my
video
shot
as they're
didn't
walking
spook
away.
them. So they
No,
weren't.
no,
they
they
weren't
just-
running. They were just like
It was just
they were
a
on the
slow
same
push
pattern they were,
away.
and they just like kind of shit. They were just pushing back from the river.
They just
Right.
diverted a little bit, and so then they settled back down.
Yep.
Chad settled back down,
Well, I was.
and we came back over, and he
Ran
told
out
me
of
what
tears.
happened, and I'm like, all right, man, well, they're not gone. This isn't over. Not pep talked them, but I'm like, dude, this ain't fucking over. Like, they're still in here, and we're still over here, and they're not blown out. Well, earlier during the hunt, the stock, I had spotted a really nice bull separate from this big group with another small group, probably 1,000 yards away. I mean, they're way the fuck out there. And it disappeared and bedded. Well, this happened, and then the caribou pushed away, and then at this point they were pretty far away. We were just kind of hoping that they'd rotate back around, which they actually did based off my actions, which is crazy enough. I see that bull get back up. I decided to go full rogue on my own.
Yeah. He's
Which-
like, I'm gonna go for this, and I was like, okay.
Yep. I was like,
I'm gonna circle around here and see if they come back to this ice because they kept. Whenever they were getting spooked, they seemed to come back to this ice and huddle up.
Yep.
So I was
They would they would leave and then come back around to it.
So I was like,
They-
I'm gonna go this opposite side, get wind, And he was like, I'm gonna go after this. So we split up, but we were gonna be shooting opposite directions. So it was like perfect.
Yeah, and I felt one of my biggest wins of the archery hunt, and just in terms of like a first experience, is that I got to the point where I dropped my pack, I marked it, I started like crawling and being careful, and I ended up ranging 103 yards from that bull at one point. And I was like, fucking dude, I'm like,
Was it moving?
It was just kind of grazing and eating, but like circling, not going away, just
Yeah, he was in the same spot, basically.
but moving around. Another cow and a calf were over here to my right, a couple 100 yards away, got past them. So I'm like, shit, man, I got past them. I'm working my way in. I'm like, I look back, I can't see Chad anymore. I'm kind of on the island now. And I'm all getting pumped. I'm like, dude, I think I can actually do this.
Yeah.
Started getting confident and excited. So I range. I'm like, all right, man, I'm going to like try and, close the gap. I'm going to go 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. I go 10. Cow pops up 10 yards away from me.
Oh,
wee-oo, bedded. Fucking alarm, dude. Out. Everybody's gone. I'm like, God
Bummer.
damn it. But I just was like, you know what? This is all the shit I read. This is all the shit I fucking watched on YouTube. Like, a lot of stocks. These stocks just don't always work out.
Yeah, totally.
Got to go in. You got to go to know, So I pushed this little group way around to the back, going back toward the highway now, back to the sag, because we're kind of in the middle now. Sure as shit, they fucking loop around, and then they get the other group that came back around to the ice, get them pushed again, right back to fucking Chad.
So the whole time he's doing this, which is like another hour,
Easily.
I'm watching that group still, and I just I'm like, well, I think they're going to go back to the ice. So I'm getting set up by the ice. But the whole time, like, he's gone, I'm looking for him, and then once I lost him and couldn't pick him up anymore, I could only, like, every now and then pick up the Caribou group that he was going for. I'm seeing, like, well, now there's trucks at the road again. Oh. And now people are out. And now people are seeing us over there.
Like, they can cross.
So they're like, oh, well, these dudes don't give a fuck about getting wet. They didn't see it. No one saw us cross, so they didn't see the spot.
Yeah.
Which it wouldn't mean that, like, all you had to do is walk down there
and they see you
take
guys
10 minutes
out there. Or
they
no?
obviously could see us.
I felt like they could see us.
If they couldn't,
because you're elevated on the road and you're looking down on the river.
If they couldn't see me, man, they ain't fucking looking.
All right.
It's not that. It's fucking flat and barren, right? They hadn't seen me moving.
Yeah, movement
They're
is
seeing
what
all
they
these
saw.
caribou, so now these caribou are coming back to the ice, and I'm like stoked. I'm like, okay.
How far away are they?
So now we're on again.
A few hundred yards.
Yeah, maybe a couple 100 yards at that point, but they're moving my direction. So I'm like, I got to get back to the ice before they get back to the ice. So I start moving now because I can't see Brandon. Like, can't really watch what he's doing. And I see these dudes getting out of the car. So I'm like, shit, man, okay. So I'm just like, well, dude, they're going to, like, go back for this other group that's heading back towards the ice. This group's heading back towards the river. So I'm like, I need to stay upwind from them. And so, or downwind. So I start moving back, and then
To the ice?
Yeah, and I see three dudes come from a truck, and, like, they split up into two dudes and one dude, and they just come across the river, like, chest deep. Like, just, we're getting wet, we don't care.
Yeah.
So they get across the river, and I'm just like, and now it's like me, group of caribou, and them. Well, the caribou are coming in anyway. And so, like, they run this thing where the two dudes are going to flush them and push them to the other guys. So I'm watching them through binoculars, and I'm like, we're 300-400 yards apart. Well, now the caribou come in between us. So now the caribou are there, and I'm like, okay, I get another chance. And they're not in shooting range for me yet, but I'm like, I get another chance. Like, we're back in the game. Well, I'm like, I'm moving to get into position. I'm like, fuck, I got to race. Now it's not me against these caribou anymore. It's me against the caribou, but also against these dudes.
Yeah.
And these guys are just like, they're not creeping up to the river. They're just walking, standing up, straight up. They're not trying to hide at all. So I'm like, what the fuck is these guys' play? And I'm like, I don't know how this is. This how they experience? I don't know if they've been here before. I don't know if there's their first time. I have no idea. So like they come across the river like chest deep. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, I was watching. I'm like,
these motherfuckers. Maybe I should just let them have it. Like they're more committed than me. I wore some. What'd you call them?
Oh, your cute overboots.
Cute overboots. I wore cute overboots. These motherfuckers are just like nipple deep in water wearing.
So we need the
Cootie
auralic
pants.
waders.
I brought mine actually.
The chest ties.
Coincident.
When are we talking to Kurt from Stone Glacier? Because I want to. This is the product he needs to make. And I was telling Brandon, why do they have these stupid overboots just hips? Because they're not like, you can't really go in something where you like deep. Like, because they're like hip waders, but they're not really hip waders. They're like pretty low on your thigh. Yeah. Why doesn't someone just make a damn pant?
Yeah.
Like a full set of pants. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then you don't have to strap them to your belt to keep them up. Like you just, it has a belt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
goes over everything.
Barely any more material, and no one's done it. Anyway, these guys come across. So now I'm like watching this guy, and I see this dude going in his pack, and he's pulling out something, and he's unfolding it. And I was like, is he gonna?
It's a Caribou.
I was like,
decoy.
is he going white trash bag? And I'm like zoomed in. I'm like, dude, that thing's purple. I was like, what the fuck? And I see him unfolding it, and I'm like, no. Yep. He's going with the Caribou picture that you put on the front of your bow.
Yeah.
So he puts that thing on, and then he starts just walking towards the Caribou.
Yeah.
Like that thing is guaranteed to work.
Yeah.
Not trying to hide at all, just walking straight at the Caribou, at the herd. And so the herd starts moving
away from him.
Yeah, they start moving, and they're kind of like, they're coming into a spot where like, at that point, I saw like, okay, these dudes are crossing. They're going to flush them at some point. So like, I go to where they're going to go, where they had went before. So I got behind that ice, and I got good wind. So I just move in these things like low as shit in the creek bottoms, or like, they're barely creek bottoms, but braided stuff that's lower. And I'm like, they're going to focus on these dudes because these guys aren't even trying to hide.
Right.
So I go as fast as I can. I get over there. Brandon's still back there. And
I didn't want to move. Yeah.
And I get, now I'm in a super, I was like, I know this is where they're going when these dudes do blow them out.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're going to push them to me, you dummies. Thanks.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there, but I'm watching this one dude with that thing. And he hasn't got closer than 100 yards from him. So he doesn't have a shot. But there was 2, maybe 3 times in there where I watched him pull out his rangefinder. And so like he's ranging, and I'm looking at it, and it's pretty flat. Like I'm behind a little bush.
Yeah.
And the caribou, the big caribou, is directly in line with me.
Oh man.
And I am looking as dead nuts into his laser rangefinder as you can look. Like we are that square.
Yeah.
And no matter where he moved, we always wound up that square.
Yeah.
Because I was paralleling that big, and he was parallel to it every time. And I was just like,
is he gonna shoot?
I don't know. I can't tell if he's probably 100, and I'm probably 300, 200. But I'm like, fuck, dude, if this guy misses high because he just tries to take a bomb, like, I don't know how far. Like, I don't know the ballistics of an arrow, but I know they go 300 yards.
Yeah.
And you probably don't have to get hit with one that has a fucking razor blade attached to the front. It doesn't have to be going very fast to do some serious damage to you. So, dude, I'm kind of freaking out. Like, I'm like, if this dude draws his bow, I'm standing up.
Yeah.
And like waving my hands, like, fucking don't shoot.
Yeah.
Because there was a couple scary moments in there where I was like, dude, if this guy pulls his bow, like, I'm gonna ruin this whole thing for everyone. Like, I will fucking run straight at these things, because it was like, it's scary to look through binoculars directly at someone else looking through something.
Yeah, totally.
And so,
and he doesn't see you.
oh, he saw me, man. Because so then
he knew you were there, but
so
I don't
they
think
come
he realized
around.
you were that
They
close
come around,
to him.
and now like he never like he's acting like man, these things think I'm part of the herd. But they never let him into shooting distance, ever.
You just kept pushing.
And so
around.
he just kept pushing them. And I'm like.
And not towards you?
They were kind of circling around. And they did get to right where I thought they were going to go. And then it wound up that a bunch of them were going in front of me. And so they were moving too fast. I wasn't.
You got any of those videos?
I wasn't going to get a shot on.
Were you within range?
Close?
No, I was probably 50, 60 yards on the main group.
Okay.
But then I could hear, like, as I'm watching them and I'm down in this creek bed, like up on the creek bed, which is a couple feet higher than me, I can hear, like, when they're eating, they're like snorting, grunting.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're really loud.
Dude, I was close enough. I can hear them farting.
Right.
And so then I'm like, I peek up over the creek bed and I'm like, well, at this point, it's not, there's 2 shooter bulls in there. They're not the biggest bull in the herd, which is what we were aiming for.
Right.
But I was like, these guys are blowing them out. I'm watching this guy manipulate him around. I was like, they're going to keep going. He's never going to get one.
Yeah.
So if I don't take one of these, and so like these ones are like behind me in the brush. And so I kind of had to be like, and them to be like, and then they drop down on the creek bed. And I'm just about to draw, and they kind of pick up the pace and they go out of there. And that dude is standing up. And as soon as I'm like, have my bow like this, and I'm following him, but I don't draw, that guy sees me, seeing him, and he just drops down and hides for like 20 minutes. And I'm just like, dude, just stand. I've been watching you for 45 minutes through my binoculars, dude.
He finally
I know how many buttons you have on your shirt,
crazy.
dude. Don't hide now. Don't fucking hide now.
That was kind of annoying.
It was like, and then so like that guy waited until I walked towards Brandon, because I literally sat there like, are you seriously gonna like? How long are you gonna hide? Like I was at that point, I was curious, like, are you really gonna hide? Like, and sure enough, as soon as I went the other way, he stood up and headed back to his friends. But that was.
Did they apologize?
No,
hell no.
No, he blamed him for ruining his hunt.
No, dude, that was the mildest.
Oh, really?
Well, that,
oh my God.
Yeah, because that's day one. So I mean, and I'm glad we really elaborated heavy on day one, because that really truly was kind of like our hunt.
Well, it was the best window, and I shit the bed. And
the
so
best window.
Like, as much as I'm bitching about these dudes, it doesn't matter. It should have already been over.
Yeah, you could have bagged one earlier in the hunt.
I absolutely vomited all over the tundra.
So late enough, they finally pushed away where it was like, okay, there's no more opportunity to.
Yeah,
and it feels like they're kind of rattled and pushed, and
at that point they blew out of there.
Yeah, they were out. Yeah, and when they go, they go. You know how those caribou are.
Yeah, they weren't looking back.
So we go back, set up camp. Pretty late, like midnight-ish. I think I got some photos I was looking at.
Oh yeah, definitely midnight.
Had a good dinner. We talked about getting up early.
We did. Not
the second day. We kind of like slept in again because we were still kind of recharging our batteries.
Yeah, we were like 7.
So it was a long ass day because we
went 7 a.m.
We didn't get off the river until like 10 o'clock at night. I mean, we sat out there for a while trying to, hoping that they'd come back around and that whole thing. So, so the next morning is probably where the reality and kind of I remember having this conversation with Jeff Lund, mediocre podcast
on step.
Catch a can on step. Was it you changed it?
Oh, mediocre Alaskan.
He changed it to on step.
I didn't realize that was effective already.
He said it when he came on our show.
I know. He said he was going to do it. I just didn't realize it.
On step.
It's on step now.
Why,
okay.
man? Mediocre Alaskan.
I don't know. I like that way better.
So
that's all right,
good.
Jeff. I love you, dog. But
Change it back.
he had shared his frustrations and his displeasure, whatever, about the hunt he did last year.
Yeah.
Which is kind of reminiscent of what we experienced. So day 2 is truly, I think, what the hunt kind of is for that particular area in terms of like road hunting. So we kind of start approaching the area as you're entering the dead horse space where you start seeing trucks and hunters and guys on the road.
Yeah, what do we decide? We decided that morning we were going to go to Dead Horse and work our way back, since we were seeing most of the stuff closer to Dead Horse. So we were like, we'll go to the boundary and then we'll work our way back.
Gotcha.
Right. Well, in the process, there's now caribou working their way south from Dead Horse as we're working our way north up the road.
You're passing them.
On the west side of the highway, so opposite the sag.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's like a group of maybe, 20 caribou, something like that.
At least 10 bulls.
With bulls in there.
10 pretty nice bulls.
And, what had happened is there was trucks ahead of us, and they had already started maneuvering themselves to get in position to try and get... Yes. So we kind of we see this going on, and we're like, oh, shit, there's, guys setting up, and we're like, well, what should we do? We're kind of once again, here we are on the road, what's the fucking etiquette? There's all these other trucks up there. And I'm like, well, I think if we went up here and stopped, maybe they'll walk right by, we could get a shot, right? Oh, no. Fucking Toyota Tacoma comes flying up from behind us. I never forget this kid's stupid-ass face looking at us in the window like, what are you guys doing fucking driving so slow, Because we're, trying to just slowly approach this situation.
We're driving, 10 miles an hour.
Yeah, we're like, well, let's just see what's going on. And these guys are like,
and we're driving slow because we don't want to spook the caribou.
Yeah, just it's just...
Because we're people are hunting them. At that point, we saw a couple people in the ditch.
Yep.
So we're like, okay, people are on these. So you just got to, let it happen and not, I'm like, I don't want to mess up their hunt.
Yeah.
So we're going slow, and this Toyota just comes by at
rips
50.
in front of us. So here we are kind of on the shoulder. Dude rips in front of us, stops angled, passenger jumps out of the truck like he's going to shoot one on the road and realizes hey, dumbass.
There's already people here.
There's people on the shoulder positioning themselves. Because that's kind of what the hunt is, man. It's a haul road hunt. You will get opportunities off the road. Right off the damn road. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you just have to kind of be in the right place at the right time to execute it because that day we saw a lot of bulls get killed. Tell
them the game that the main tactic of what people are doing.
So the main tactic was that they were leapfrogging the herd. So essentially this dude dropped in, got a shot, got a bull down, the herd moved, trucks rip up the highway, stop.
That was the result of too many people. But the main tactic was if you see them on the side on the west side, which is not the Sag River side, that they're gonna at some point they're gonna cross the road. So what people were doing where they were stopping, they were getting on the Sag side and using the road as their cover because it's raised, right? So they're down in the ditch, and so they would. So that if the it always seemed when the caribou were coming in from the pipeline side, the western side, they were kind of paralleling the highway, but they were also angling towards it, and everyone knew kind of the spots where they usually cross. And so what everyone's game was they were gonna park. And then if you were the first one to see the caribou, you parked, you got out, you jumped in the east side ditch, and you just peeked over, saw where they were, and you kept walking south until you were going to be in the spot where they crossed. So there was people playing that game.
Yeah.
But then everyone's waking up, finishing their coffee, and now the carloads of people show up, and this is when the fucking dumb shit starts. And that's the leapfrogging, where now what everyone winds up doing is they're forcing, all these caribou want to do. You can see it.
They want to cross.
All they want to do is cross.
They
so every time they made a chance, there's another car leapfrogging another car, and these dudes are it's not you're not the DMV and you got your number and you're oh man, I'm next. So if this dude misses, I'm up. It is fucking get in your truck, coal roll the dude next to you, just whoop, pass him, and then pick the spot where you think it's going to work out.
And then the dude jumps out 400 or 500 yards ahead of the caribou, right in the middle of the grass, waiting
on their
for
side,
the caribou to go by.
On their side, because he's well, none of these motherfuckers are going to let him cross. So the whole game of where you're actually hunting and using a blind is now eliminated, and you're just running out in the tundra, squatting down and hoping they walk directly by you.
Which we watched one go by a guy. He didn't get the one he wanted, so he plucked one in the back, and he shoots it and it drops. And then now the herd is scattered out. So at that point, and where I failed is I should have gotten the camera out and videotaped this, filmed this. I I was in such awe at the utter lack of etiquette and just
Shock and awe.
fucking disgusting display of hunting that I've ever seen. That and I say that out of frustration now, really, because I'm really reliving it. But in hindsight, we started talking about the whole idea of like road hunting and that the premise behind it, and it can kind of be Wild West. And it's like you can judge it and get pissed at it, but that's kind of what the hunt is.
Mm-hmm. And to be perfectly clear, it is totally legal what these guys are doing.
Yeah.
And if anyone's ever heard me on this podcast, I constantly say that if Fish and Game and the biologists and the people that make the rules say it's legal, I don't have anything against it. But I'm not going to participate in it.
We chose not to participate
it sounds like
in that,
the 40-mile caribou herd.
Yeah.
Like, the shit that goes down up there. Fuck that.
And I think I think it's really a caribou thing, and we kind of both knew that. We both knew that, but we just thought because
you hear the stories in your
archery. Yeah, you'd have some.
Whenever you tie archery to something, you think that you eliminate a lot of that. Mm-hmm.
But it's just a different version.
And there's nowhere you couldn't get up like on top of the car and like spot something 500 yards away kind of thing.
We were looking miles out. We were looking so far out that you'd see stuff, and then you'd like put your binoculars down, and you're like, oh shit, you can shoot that with a rifle.
that thing's way out there.
That is way
on the pipeline side. That day, I did see scattered herds that had bulls in them. You could see on the horizon line. You could see the antlers. And they were like walking like under the pipeline or in front, and they were kind of scattered over on that side. For some reason that morning, there seemed to be a lot of caribou on that west side of the highway. But they were like, they're moving, bro. So it's like, what are you going to jump out and grab your pack and go hike for 2 hours to that point, and they're going to be 5 miles that way? It's like you couldn't.
So what is the strategy next year or next time?
Well, before I get to that, so we chose not to participate in that.
Yeah.
So we pull out of there. We're like kind of disgusted and kind of frustrated. We go back to our sweet spot. So. We're looking off on the distance. We see bulls, maybe from that group scattered a little bit.
It was working for them dudes. Every one of them dudes left there.
That day, dude, we saw so many fucking heads on top of trucks. It was like, oh man, because when we pulled out of there and then came back later that afternoon, there was just everybody was driving by with a caribou on their truck. We're like, oh, they just leave.
So it worked.
Fucking plucked them all out of there.
Yeah.
And we were like, hey, man, if those guys are proud of it and they're stoked and that's how they got their caribou. Day one, I forgot to mention, we had a small caribou. And as a matter of fact, the guys with the truck in the video that had the big rack in the back, they were behind us. We moved past them. This small caribou jumped off the river, ran right behind the truck, dude. I got out with my freaking bow, and got his tailgate down.
He was walking our way.
Knocking an arrow, and I'm like, it's like from here to the fridge. And I'm like, it's a small bull, but it's right there. Yeah. It's day one, and I'm like, I don't know, man. It's like in the parking lot. Like, I don't feel right shooting this right now.
Literally like if he stepped forward, he hit his shin on the hitch of my truck.
I was like, fuck, dude. And then
it feels weird.
And then we passed on that, regathered ourselves, and then jumped back in the truck, and then those dudes went down the road and shot it. So I was like, I was like, fuck, okay. Like, I was like, wait a minute. Did I fuck up? Did I just pass up on an opportunity? I knew I did, because I can tell you right now, on the last day I shot that damn thing for sure. Right? Don't pass up on the first day what you take in the last. That rule. Say that. Yeah. Well, I'm being crow on that, but it didn't feel.
How many caribou could you take?
3.
Yeah. Bulls.
Well, it was hot. I don't know, man. I wanted to make a stock on a caribou.
Yeah,
I felt like that's how I wanted to do this. Yeah. I wanted Chad to get a caribou first, not me. Mm-hmm. There was just a plan in my head, and that was like everything against it, so I passed. Yeah. So back to day 2, chose not to participate. We decide to go back south, where we think maybe those caribou just got rattled out, and they went way down the highway, and then they would eventually cross over, because they ended up pushing a big group of bulls away from the road. They just ended up going away.
West?
West, yes. So we went hours later. Sure as shit, those bulls had gone down the road, crossed into the river, out into the sag. We went and walked down to the end of the an access road and glassed what were one decent bull, a second
One decent
nice-ish bull, and then a third small one. And they were bedded on a gravel bar.
on a little like green part of a gravel bar, but like in a
would have to cross some water again.
huge braided area where you didn't have any cover on the approach.
And so we sat there and looked at those bulls for 3 or 4 hours. And me personally, in hindsight, I wish we would have made stock on those because number one, they weren't with the shit show. They weren't in a big group. Meanwhile, they're not great bulls, but they're stockable bulls that were bedded down for hours on end on a beautiful day where we had the wind. The approach would have been tough because we would have probably got busted. But in hindsight, I feel like because we were there doing the work, we should have just went through the motions. And even if we didn't get
It would be fun.
a shot, we could have, yes. And so that was probably the biggest regret from that hunt where I was like, God damn
a
it.
little bit too in that. Just we knew that there was other ones that were trying to cross the road still, and we were thinking that they would try to link back up. And so we were kind of waiting for that to happen because then everything would have to pass in front of us because at that point we were down to the bluffs. And so like the ones that we were looking at, they couldn't really go any further. They would have had to go up these bluffs. So like we figured that if the others made it, they were going to come through where we were, which was, there really wasn't an approach. And if we had had any wind, if the wind would have been even remotely in our favor, but that wind is very prominent coming out of the west, heading east. And they were east of us. So
we had a good wind if we would have made the right play, but would have been tough to have gotten close to without getting spotted.
Or way the fuck.
So later that evening, and earlier that evening, we ended up going further down where there's a truck down in there in a spot, and we're like glassing. I'm like, oh man, these guys must have jumped off and maybe went like headed for the 5 mile mark, like they were going to go deep, or maybe they saw something. So we're glassing. I see these beautiful antlers kind of above this brush line. I'm like, oh shit, dude, that's a fucking double shovel beauty, I'm like, oh shit. So we drive down, jump out of the truck, we start suiting and booting, and these 2 trucks pulling behind us. And we're like, motherfuckers, man. Everybody's driving, they see a truck, we pull in, we saw a truck, so now more trucks are pulling in. So we're like, God damn it. They're like, we're looking for some guys that their truck fits that description that went in a dead horse earlier today. Said they shot a caribou and injured it and across the river, and they were in need of a pack raft. And we're like, okay, well, we don't know them or whatever. And they're like, yeah, that's their truck. So we're glassing, and there's 3 dudes standing on the bank, like 500-600 yards away. And I'm like, oh, there's 3 dudes over there. And they're like, oh, that must be them. So they like try to get their attention. They wave. Well, me and Chad are like, well, I don't know where that bull is or whatever's going on. So let's go down to the river and just investigate and see what's up ourselves. We already got our packs on. Let's go down for a walk. So get down for a walk and realize that I'm like, oh shit, I think the bull that I saw is the one that they injured. Sure enough, we got into range. That big bull stood up, and you could see a big red blood patch in his chest, and he was like limping and like kind of hurt. And so there were some other bulls laying down that were smaller, younger ones that must have been like riding with him, but he was hurt, so they were just like hanging out with him. So we ended up watching these dudes get this pack raft, inflate it, cross the river, make the stock in there, spook the bull, miss the bull, and then fucking never found it. We watched those guys for hours trying to get that bull.
And you guys could have killed it for them?
Well, we were thinking to ourselves, well, we'll just stay on this side.
The river was pretty deep.
God forbid if they spook them out and they run across, here we are. You know what I mean? And this is kind of get toward the end of the day where we're feeling like our day's getting pretty bleak as far as having an opportunity. So it was just interesting to see that. There's nothing those guys did wrong. I'm not like taking jabs at them. I'm just saying we witnessed another side of the Haul Road archery hunt, aftermath, if you will, or result where,
those dudes did everything they could to try and
they did their due diligence, man. They worked hard for like hours to try and get that bull.
They went and found someone, let them borrow a pack raft. They went across. They did everything they could. They just had an injured animal.
They even took their sweet-ass time making their approach at it. We watched it all from the glass, watched the whole thing, and it was like,
Yeah, they did.
man, those guys did a freaking awesome job of that.
Got busted.
Yep. So that was into day 2. So things kind of just started getting really bleak beyond that point as far as we were starting to see less and less caribou in groups, and they were just onesie twosies, and they were all the nicer ones were way the fuck across the sag. And so it was like, well, are we going to make a play like to go all the way back in there? You know, we just kind of him-hawed around about making that happen, and it just never felt like it made sense to go across over there, which we were thinking we were going to cross where we originally crossed, but we still had another braid that we were going to have to tackle, which I was pretty sure watching caribou cross it earlier in the day, they were neck deep. So I think that braid might have been almost impassable, or we would have had to get real creative. Hence, at that point, needed a pack raft, right? So I'm going to fast forward to the second to the last day, because everything in between that was kind of a redundant, repetitive.
No.
What part?
I'm not skipping the grossest shit of all the whole trip.
Oh, I was leading up to that because that's all in the same day.
Okay.
Talking about red canopy douchebag?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So I want to fast forward into this second to our last day. Early in the morning, we leave our camp. We're headed to Dead Horse. We see a truck and a camper off the side of the road. These are some new hunters we hadn't seen driving the road. So they must have showed up like late last night or earlier this morning, you know.
I mean, it's 5 a.m.
You notice the new trucks coming and going. You're like, okay, those guys got some caribou, they're gone. Here's some new truck of dudes. You could kind of start.
Yeah, we literally have nicknames for everyone at that point.
And later it got more U-Haul rigs there were. And that's no joke. Every day that started proceeding, it was a U-Haul truck, U-Haul van, another U-Haul van. So we're coming toward town. We're kind of getting into our sweet spot, and we see the truck and camper. And we're like, oh, shit, they're doing exactly what Chad had explained earlier in the conversation. They were playing the highway thing, but they were dialed, man. There wasn't a bunch of distractions. There wasn't a bunch of other trucks and hunters. We slowed down. We slowed down and went past
They've been on it for a minute because their truck is a half mile away, and they're, 600 yards in front of us in the ditch.
So you can imagine, so like it's the same thing. You're running north-south. We're going north. The caribou are on the left side. Yeah. They're on the right side, on the other side of the highway. We creep past them very politely, slow. We're like, don't want to blow their stock. We don't bother the caribou. We don't bother them. And I'm like, damn, they're getting set up in a good place. They're following them, just waiting for them
and
to
their
cross.
caribou are coming in. Like,
this is
the road.
Narrowing it down.
They're close.
Yeah, one nice one for sure was in there.
Yeah, they had a nice bull in there.
There was 2 shooters. One was like really exceptional. And we go up to the marker, and we're like, oh, shit, nothing's going down. Turn back around. We're coming back. Now we're reapproach that truck because we're now going south. That truck's on the right. They're on the left. Caribou are on the right side. Now they're like right by the road. So we stop. We're like, oh, man, we're just going to watch them cross and fucking arrow one of these things.
Yeah,
like, awesome,
man,
right?
They're in perfect position.
And you guys are going to arrow them, or they?
No, they're going to arrow them. We stopped way back. Like, let them have their opportunity.
We went by. We saw it was a couple. It was a dude and his girl. And the girl is out. She was the one that was a shooter, and he was like filling her in on where to be because he was peeking over the road and guessing where they're going to cross. And they nailed it. And that's what we saw.
Their timing,
we just stopped.
So we stopped, and we're stopped, and now we're watching like almost the finalization of their thing where the caribou are starting to approach the shoulder where they want to start nosing their way up over. And he puts his girl out in the field, and he's up close. So they're like spread out and putting themselves both in a position like, let the one cross, she'll shoot one, and let the other bull come over, and then he'll shoot one. Fucking blue Duramax. We've been watching this dude racing.
Well, another dude came the other way. He sees it happening.
Stops.
So he stops. So he's on the other side of them, kind of where we are.
I think he even turned his flashers on.
Probably 1,000 yards from them, both sides. Yeah, so he pulls off the road. He stops.
So now they've got us stopped, that guy stopped. They've got the whole road to themselves. Only thing that could really blare through here at this point would be a tractor trailer, which they're not going to stop. They got a job to do. Well, we're watching this fucking truck racing up and down for 3 days. Old Duramax with a red canopy and a fucking canoe on the top of it.
Yeah,
this dude's always going 70 every single time he's driving by. Like, I don't know if that's his version of road hunting, is just like flying up and down the road until one's like right by the road.
He's the one dude we know has a boat. And he ain't using it.
Yeah, never took it off. That we could tell. He comes fucking flying past us. Right down the fucking center.
Now there's caribou in the road.
The caribou have come up on the road. He comes flying past us. Smashes his brakes. Not, but just, a truck slowing down is pretty noisy. Fucking blows those caribou.
Oh, he speeds through the whole thing. Jesus. I mean, he hit his brakes,
he hit his brakes and then hit it again.
Only to avoid the caribou that was in the road. He blows through that. He's seen us. I know he saw her.
Oh,
he definitely saw the caribou.
Absolutely saw
he
them.
saw the other truck. Blows the whole thing
Blows
up.
their shit they've been working on probably for 2 fucking hours. Blows it.
Now the caribou sprint by her. She's ranging them at 32 yards. And I'm like, and when we were like going to sleep the night before, I was telling Brandon, I was like, I know this is like legal, and I know this is how road hunting works. I just thought it was going to be different because it's a archery thing. I was like, but yesterday's thing with the leapfrog, like at night, I was like, here's my issue with it, is that if you get in line and you play the game and you do the leapfrog and then you get set up and you go out there and you're waiting for them to go by, there's someone in front of you who they got to go by first. And you're wishing
for them to fail.
For that guy to either they don't come in range or he misses.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's my problem with it.
Yeah.
Like, we're all hunting. We're all trying to feed our families. Mm-hmm. But now, if we're going to play this game, we have to want someone else to fucking fail.
Yeah,
and that is lame.
Yeah, that was a lame feeling, dude.
Super lame.
Yeah.
And so that was like bad enough.
Yeah.
But now, what this dude did, and you know who you are with your blue truck and your red camper and your fucking Coleman canoe on top. You did what, in my eyes, is hunter harassment. Mm-hmm. And literally, when I told this story to a couple different people, they were like, do you think that person was like an anti-hunter? Mm-hmm. And I was like, what? I was like, no, this dude's like full camo and shit. They were like, well, it just seems like something an anti-hunter would do. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. Because now you're not even like, you have now taken it to a whole new level of like, hoping someone doesn't succeed, so like you're next in line. You're not like this dude was not even. He didn't stop. It's not like he blew through him and was like, "Now I get a shot." Yeah. He kept driving all the way to wherever he was.
Sure,
camped.
looked like he did it on purpose. Man.
And so, like, I'm like, now you ruined a hunt for someone that you weren't like for no reason other than to be a prick,
man.
Yeah, and there is no possible way.
Yeah, and I have to rewind. Because that was the third day or fourth day. Because the fifth day that morning, we went down. Okay, so that was not the second to last day, but that was when we first met that couple. Because we talked to them afterwards. And we're like, damn, we're really sorry what happened. That guy's an asshole. And the boyfriend or husband was kind of like, well, whatever.
Like, that's road hunting.
Kind of shook it off. Like, it's road hunting.
That's kind of road hunting.
And we were like, we're over here just like, motherfucker, want to chase this guy down, Totally. And
I was like, let me find where that guy camps. I'm going to lose another arrow.
Fast forward to the next day, we go down to the we go down to the marker. And if you guys remember, I sent you guys that video where I got up on those bulls real close out of the ditch. That morning, they were on the
legal side,
non-legal, non-shooting side. And so I went down that creek and I just like
filming them.
Went up there and filmed them, and they turned and started walking. I was like, oh shit, well, damn, if we go back over to the marker, they work their way this direction.
They might walk that way.
They might walk right past the fucking line and we'll be in position. So we park the truck and wait hours, I think, several hours, several coffees. And the fucking things cross the sag. One stays non-legal. The other one goes to the legal side. So now we pull out and we're watching from the road. And then we watch this other truck pull in. We're like, who's this fucking guy? Looking at this thing. It's Ken, man.
Oh, Gibson?
It's Ken. He even gets his bow out and walks down in the road. He's like, oh, shit, that's too far across the river. I can't even cross the river. So he comes back, and we ended up bullshitting with him. Well, so later that night, we go back to camp. We come back, and we see that bull, the one I video that's off in the ditch, right, coming out of Dead Horse.
Yeah.
And then there's that mound I showed you guys in the distance. So we're like, we're gonna go over there and set up, and maybe this thing will come walk in this direction. Well, guess who's parked at the end of the road at the marker right at the river?
Where we were
all morning, and Ken is the couple in the camper.
Oh, nice.
Just like posted.
The people that had
That got fucked.
Yeah.
Yes.
They got fucked. They're literally backed in there.
No, nosed in. No, nosed in?
Yeah.
Or back? I thought they were nosed in.
Oh, they were nosed in. You're right.
Now we go to the gravel bar thing. We're kind of getting desperate at this point. Like the whole like wanting to cross the sag and make a stock and be traditional. Or like if one walks
we went
around behind this gravel bar past the shooting zone, it's going down. Like it was a really nice bull.
We're looking at a bull and he's past the shooting marker like 10 yards. But he's bedded like back, like you couldn't make the shot from where you had to cross the river to get a shot.
Yeah.
But he's bedded there and we're watching him for like out. And I'm just like, we have to cross the river.
If we had a raft, we would have crossed the river and then made a stock and shot him.
But it was
we
too
sat
deep
there
to walk across? Or?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, no, not happening.
At that point, you couldn't even, like I went down there, I threw rocks in it. You couldn't even see him hit the bottom, like nothing. And there was no sun at that point. So I was like.
Cold plunge.
I would do that, but it was like, I was like, dude, coming across a river carrying, like keeping your pack dry and your bow dry is one thing.
But then
coming back across with a caribou is a whole nother thing. And I was like, I don't care about getting wet, but I was like, we need a way to get stuff. So I was like, we're going to Dead Horse. He's like, what? I was like, we're going to Dead Horse. I have a fucking idea. So,
you got a tractor tire?
Yeah. I was like, we're going to go find an inner tube out of a loader.
That's right.
And I'm gonna tie a rope around it and I'm gonna put a carabiner on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm gonna go across the river with it with 100 feet of rope, and then I'm gonna send it back to you using the current.
Yeah.
And you're gonna send it back to me using the current with our gear, and then you're gonna get on it, and then you're just gonna like tie the rope to it, and you're gonna just like I'm gonna hold it, and it's just gonna pendulum you into the bank.
Done that in the Eagle River sheep hunting.
I was like, we're going to do it. And he's like, I don't know, man. This sounds like some shit.
It works.
And I was he was thinking like I was going to get like a car tire. And I kind of like, I get it done. Like I find a dude, this guy's like,
shout out to Bryce Construction, dude.
Yeah, Bryce. He was like, let me call a guy though. And I knew that.
This is the Colville gas station.
I knew that when you change just from having equipment, when you like, you know, the North Slope is like the most rural fucking place in the world. So I knew that when you change, when they like tire, the only reason tires go bad, right? You don't really pop tires very often on a loader. I mean, you cut them on something if you're doing like demo work and stuff. But up there, there's no reason for them to pop a tire. But when they dry rot and they have to change tires, I know they're required to use like a new tube. They can't put even if it's good. So I knew someone had to have tubes. And this guy was like, he's like, let me call this guy. He's like, yeah, man, guy actually thinks your idea is fucking funny. So he said, come grab one. So we go over there, and I was like,
did he blow it up for you too?
Well, he had to because they're oversized valve stems.
Yeah,
and I was like, well, I have a pump, but it's like my razor, it's like a little car tire pump, plugs in your gas.
That would have taken forever.
Yeah. And I was like, dude, just inflate it big enough that it'll fit in the back of my truck.
Yeah.
So we did that. And I come out with that, and Brandon's like, oh shit, this might work.
Oh, you didn't go with him? You were watching the Caribou?
Well, he was with me in the truck. But I ran into this place because he was kind of like,
I was very skeptical about the whole idea.
Like, dude,
it's a great idea.
I was like, only one of us has to get wet, dude.
Yeah. Well, then we went and got rope, and I'm like, well, I got tarps, and I'm like, I got my aerolic waders, so I'm like, you can actually put those on, kick across. You don't actually have to get wet.
Yeah.
So then I started buying in. I'm like, okay, this is actually pretty fucking cool. We only have to cross a 20-yard section of the river. It's not like a big break. It's running hard, but we just had to get across, and we were in the motherland because all the big bulls were on the other side.
Right.
So and there were some freaking really nice bulls off there in that river basin area. Oh man, dude, majestic.
So you would have had a lot more stocks if you had a pack raft.
Yeah.
You could get away from the people, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely would have had, like, we probably would have gone to places that we otherwise wouldn't have, and then ended up crossing, and then ended up seeing them out there, and then going for them.
Well, you
is what
can
I think
float
would
that
happen.
river. Like, we didn't know. I didn't even know, like, if it was, like, navigable.
Man, I wish we
saw
all
solar.
talk because this is like stuff that I haven't hunted it, but I've been there so long.
Yeah.
I could have helped you
would've
out on
known,
all
like,
that
yeah, you
stuff.
could definitely float that.
We watched a solar rip up the river.
Oh, you did?
Yep,
All right,
a couple
that's
guys
cool.
had some caribou. Oh, well, whatever.
But then they made it illegal to take the solars on there. Plus, you can't go to Ivashak, so it's really not that worthwhile because Ivashak's
well, I can tell you right now, it's like you
wildest
have to
scenic
be
river.
lucky on water level.
Yeah.
There's probably barely enough water.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
And-
shallow.
And I hear it's drier than that more times than not.
All
So-
the times that I wanted to hunt it, it was too shallow to even float it
Yeah.
in like mid-August. So you guys were probably there on like a high water year.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, there was that, and what else did we see that
Well,
was?
now we're coming back
yeah.
after getting the inner tube, and we see that bull in the ditch.
In the ditch.
And he's like, he's kind of meandering towards the boundary. Mm-hmm. And we're like, oh, shit, this motherfucker. So we go down the road, and we notice that truck is parked where we were, and we're like, shit.
Yeah, we wanted
We're
to
in
go
our
back
spot.
to
We got
that
the
spot.
tube. It's going to go across the river again. It's going to be right where it was. So we go up on this big mound where they got like gravel stockpiled. And we're glassing from
Like
that.
30
It's
30
literally
feet in
the
the air.
highest point for like 100 miles.
Yeah, the highest.
So we're up there and we're glassing this whole thing and we're watching this thing. And dude, everyone, there's like all these
And that was,
cars
like,
that are
3
running.
fucking
They
trucks.
go and they stop, and then I was like, and then now these guys pull down into the outlet, and the other guys pull on the other side of the road.
Ken got in
One
the
car
game.
pulls
I was
in,
like, all right, yeah,
one
man.
guy pulls into like where we are, and I was like, here we go again. But that thing is slowly walking over an hour and a half, right? And I was like, we're like, it's gonna cross the river, right? And then when it does that, even these people in the truck, they're not going to shoot it because they can't get across the river. Because that guy, when we saw him the second time, he was like, man, we've seen some really nice bulls. But he's like, we've gone up and down this river and we cannot figure out a spot to cross it. And we're like, oh, yeah, maybe there isn't one.
Yeah.
We didn't want to give up anything. And they were
Yeah.
by far the coolest people we met. But that thing was walking directly to them.
Yeah, so it parallels the road toward us at the gravel pit, and then we realized there's all these other trucks that are all like, "Oh, get in position, get in position." I'm like, "All right, fuck this. We're not in sweepstakes anymore. This is dumb." But if it's going to cross the road, so it crosses the fucking road before it gets to us.
In the legal area?
No, in the illegal,
In the illegal
still.
area. He's still in the illegal area. And he just cruises, angles right toward the river.
The
at
truck,
the end
the
of the
truck
road
and
where
camper,
the truck
they are
is.
parked on the boundary road.
Okay.
They're parked on it. So all it has to do is go from one side of their truck to the other, and it's
side,
legal.
and it's shootable. So we're watching, and this thing just angles and angles and angles. I'm like,
Right where you were parked earlier.
Where
all
we've been parked
morning
all
long.
morning. Parked for hours that
just
morning.
could have stayed there.
Yeah.
Went to
For
get an inner
17
tube.
hours, and we would have
Went to get an inner tube.
got a caribou. So I'm going to speed this up. Caribou crosses is angling perfectly for the front of their F-350.
I'm like, he's going to cross
So
the
much
river,
that
though,
okay,
right?
so
Nope.
they're getting before they get out of their truck. Another truck pulls up in that boundary road. Guy gets out of his truck and grabs his bow, and it's like we're looking at this guy like, come on,
Like,
motherfucker.
what do you think those people
Their
are doing?
fucking truck has already been there for
They're
hours.
not
Like,
up here picking blueberries, dude.
I was going to be so mad if that dude started approaching with those people right there, 300 yards down the road.
Were they already in position on the other
No,
side of their
No,
they were still in their
when
truck.
the dude got out of the
Oh.
truck, they got out of their
Yeah.
truck. Because they were just watching the caribou
Yeah,
from
they're
the truck.
sitting in the truck watching.
So the caribou they sneak around and hide behind their truck and camper, the husband and wife, while the caribou just goes right in front of the mound, in front of their truck.
Yeah,
So
they're up like 10 feet. And it's
They're like right here.
because it went flat and,
can't
it's like
see it.
river.
They can't see them because they're where they're behind the truck. It's kind of down the river. The fucking thing starts feeding for like 20 minutes. And we're like,
they know he's
the
there.
Suspense is killing like everybody that's watching this
waiting
thing.
for him to step out into the legal.
This dude's on the road watching. Ken's watching with his fucking binos. We're on the hill watching. There's the Uhaul guys that were up the road,
Two
like
sets of
had their
U-Haul
knives
guys.
like sharpening up, ready to go help butcher it with them.
Fully.
Because they ended up going and helping them.
They ran out there.
They were
trying
like,
to get it. They fucking photobombed him, I think.
We're watching just suspensefully, like, oh my God, Caribou, would you fucking walk around the truck so these people can get a shot?
Yeah.
Boom! All of a sudden, you see the caribou disappear, and you see the antlers, and he's popping up out of that riverbank. It looked like the girlfriend, wife, slung an arrow, missed. It started speeding off, slowed down enough.
Or hit it and it ran.
Or maybe he hit it.
But it ran.
Dude took a shot at it.
The
husband.
It runs and stops at about, got to be 50 yards
from them.
60 yards?
Yeah.
And he's pursuing it, and then he takes a shot. It runs again.
And then he shoots one, like his third arrow.
Had him in
Fucking
70, 80.
80 yards, dude. This thing is quartering away. And we're like, I mean, from our perspective, that was a long shot. He fucking nails that thing.
Yeah.
He gets it this time, enough to where it can't get away anymore.
Now it goes down.
It bedded and got up, and then he had to shoot it again. He shot 3, she shot 1, so it was 4 shots to end up taking this thing down, and they got a fucking really, really nice bull. But we were really happy for that couple.
Yeah.
Because of what happened to them earlier in the hunt. We were like, if anybody got it.
Oh, it was the same couple.
It was that same couple, yeah.
Okay.
They deserved it.
So, and then, you know, in closing, in terms of the hunting side, you know, the next day rolls around. We're like, hey, we'll hunt this whole day, willing to spend the whole day here, or we'll pack up and bounce and start working our way south. And we went down to the end, glassed all those big, beautiful bulls around the non-hunting zone over in the basin. Like, what are we going to hope that they walk over all day long? Like, dude,
they were basically in dead horse.
Yeah, they weren't moving. So ended up deciding to pack up early and came back, and that's when we ran into the Muscox and had a beautiful drive. Now, we did stop and camp in Galbraith. I didn't camp, sorry. We stopped, had lunch, thought about camping, decided to go for a walk. Did like 6-7 mile round trip-ish.
Yeah, 7 miles round
up
trip.
behind Galbraith, kind of like what we talked about.
We went
in the
into.
past.
I took my rifle. We went into rifle area, but we didn't see shit.
Yeah, we got into rifle range.
We were in rifle
Enough,
area.
that's how deep
he had his bow. I had my rifle. I was like, let's just go for a walk.
Because the road gets you already like 2.5 miles off the highway, the road back to the Galbraith campground, and then you only got to walk like 2.5 miles, and you're into the 5 mile zone.
And you didn't see anything out there?
Boot, bro, fucking.
It's crazy that like the hunting
we didn't
was
see
such
it.
on a
I don't even
narrow-
think we saw a mosquito.
I didn't see a bird out there
No.
in that shit.
Not a beaver, not a bear, not a wolf, nothing.
So all the caribou were in like what, like a 15
Dead horse.
mile?
Yeah,
corridor?
20 miles.
20,
we
So
figured.
weird, man.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like it'd be way cooler if they're spread out like hundreds of miles, so it spreads all the people
And
out. That's how
what-
I thought it would be.
So reverting back to the like imagining and what your perspective of what you think the hunt's going to be versus the reality of it. It's like, damn, we had to drive 800 miles to hunt
15.
20 miles. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be
So that
better.
was
You'd
kinda
be
like
better
a-
off getting
kind of a head
set out
scratcher.
or floating. I think floating the river would be cool.
Yeah, I have a bunch of research I can share with you about floating. I had 2 trips that got canceled because of weather.
I think you can float it from like
So-
you can put it in there at like pump station 2 basically, and that's gonna give you, I don't know. I mean,
Oh,
it's
that'd be some
56
sick
miles of road, so it's got to be, 60 plus river miles.
Yeah.
And I think there's
shit.
places there where you could like get out, camp. I mean, we saw a couple airboat trailers, and we found out that was an outfitter that runs people out, and they also have 2 float planes that are on a lake right basically by the little pullout that we saw the trailers for that.
I got their name. What were they? Arrowhead?
We gotta
Arrowhead
wrap this
Outfitters?
up, boys. This is going long.
Yeah, it went really, really long, but yeah, I guess just to wrap it up, man, it was a great experience. It was something different. Definitely would do things a different way.
Yeah, we'll do it again. Just not going to be part of the road hunting. I don't blame anybody for doing it,
Yeah.
except that asshole in the fucking Chevy with the canoe on top.
Yeah.
We're looking for you.
That guy.
What color was
We're
the
looking
canoe?
for you.
Yeah.
Canoe was green. It was just a little Coleman canoe.
Hey man, it's all good. Now we know. Like, I'd rather go hike miles off the road and float down the river or get across and not see caribou than do that bullshit. So now we know, and I don't deter anybody. It's a great non-resident and resident opportunity. That's what the hunt is for.
It's a beautiful place. I mean, you're in Anwar, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And one thing I wanted to say
other
that
than
was amazing, and I'm not a bird watcher, but watching the bird species that you saw, like there was geese and shit I didn't even know were in Alaska.
Crazy,
yeah. I mean, the habitat was amazing for bird and waterfowl.
And those little murder birds. We still don't know what those are.
And the ptarmigan, man, the
fucking murder
ptarmigan were
birds.
silly. I got video. I'll show you guys those dodo brains running around and shit is Bird Central. But great opportunity, great thing. Anybody that's traveling Alaska, we didn't even give a shout out to Austin, the homie with the Jeep with the battery that was fucked up. We helped him.
Yeah.
Got him, figured out he needed a fuse he drove all the way up there. Traveling nurse
from Tennessee.
Tennessee decided I got to drive up to the furthest north I can, so he just
Had
has
a
to go road
contract
trip.
in Anchorage or whatever.
Fucking Jeep breaks down in Dead Horse. We ended up helping him and getting him into town. He got a tow and he got his shit fixed. So we thought all these good karma was going to come our way. It didn't work out.
Saved some birds. I mean, that day was amazing.
Saved a baby bird, couple baby birds. Well, at least I think extended their life by a couple hours.
With yeah, I know.
probably got murdered by
Thought they
some
were the
predator.
babies of the murder bird, but I'm pretty sure the murder bird was there to just kill them
To
because they
eat
were
them
stuck on the
highway.
road.
Yeah.
So I don't think I saved them, but I at least
There was a couple
I
baby
saved
geese.
them from dying from a
couple
truck.
baby geese were stuck in the middle of the road, like they tried to cross and they couldn't finish walking, and so Chad saved them.
You little
man.
bastards. That put on leather gloves, man.
Man,
Things were biting the shit out of me.
greenies were loving you. That day.
Dude, I thought at that point,
I thought
I was gonna wake up the following day and there was gonna be a
Double shovel.
bull moose with his
In the bed of
Sniffing
the
in
truck.
the tent.
his vitals were gonna be resting against the broadhead of my bow. And he's like, all you have to do is pull the string, dog. I felt at that point we helped a dude that was broke down in Dead Horse. Broke down in Dead Horse.
Rescued a baby bird.
Rescued 2 baby birds.
Built a raft. Come on.
I was like, dude, I don't know what
Sounds
more.
fun.
Great
How
story,
much more
boys.
can we
Great
Shit.
story.
It was good shit.
Great story.
That was a long one. I went over three plus.
Yep, that was good. Thank
all
you,
right.
everyone, for
Free-balled
sticking
it.
through it. That
Yeah,
was
let's
good.
wrap it up, bud.
Yeah,
Yeah,
wrap
it's
it
a
up.
lot
We
to
gotta get
digest.
going. First day of school tomorrow. Come on
That's
now.
right.
Oh, it is. That's right.
Got to work and walk the first graders in.
The title of this episode is Chad Shit the Bed.
Yeah, there you go.
Missed opportunities.
Yep. Chad works for Uhaul now.
Well, yeah, you guys are going to be going moose hunting here coming up. You guys both got big trips, and Alaska Wild Project Studio will be pretty quiet for a week or two.
Yep.
It's all right. We've been stacking.
Yeah, we'll be eating moose sticks next time we're in here.
Okay,
Yeah,
we'll get 'em,
hell
boys.
yeah, dude. We'll
get 'em.
trigger him up, man.
Yeah. Thank you, Alaska. Thank you for listening. Thank you guys for coming in and sharing the stories. Check out the website. We got our hoodies up there and hats and stuff like that. Thank you to all the Patreon members, patreon.com/Alaska Wild Project. If you're trying to support, check out howl_.org if you're really actually trying to do something other than like and share. Thank you for listening, Alaska. As always,
Stay wild.
You'll remember my speaking to you of what I call your overcautiousness. Are you not overcautious when you assume that you cannot do what the enemy is constantly doing?
the Alaska Wild Project podcast is brought to you by the following sponsors.
Barney's Sports Chalet, supplying hunters with the best hand-selected gear since 1963. The exclusive home of frontier gear built for the rugged Alaskan terrain. Your one-stop shop for all your outdoor needs. Visit Barney's today at 906 West Northern Lights.
Big Rays, the Alaskan outfitter, committed to outfitting Alaskans across the state since 1947. Whether you're a recreator, parent, guide, or corporate buyer, Big Rays has the gear you need, tailored for Alaska's harsh conditions. Check out their new exclusive line of Auralic waders. Big Rays for all your outdoor gear and rugged work attire. BigRays.com.
Tailored Restoration 24-hour emergency home services, helping Alaskans restore their dreams since 1972. Services include fire, water, mold, post-emergency cleaning, repair, and remodeling. Give them a call in Anchorage, Eagle River, Matsu, or Fairbanks. Hit them up at tailoredrestorationalaska.com.
Total Truck and Alaska Overlander, Alaska's premier supplier for custom automotive accessories and overlanding products, providing all-inclusive rental vehicles and trailers custom outfitted to explore the Alaskan backcountry with a unique and convenient traveling experience.
TheTreehouseAK.com, located at 341 Boniface Parkway, Alaska's own and grown cannabis and CBD store. Ask the bud tender what the strain of the day is to get your 10% off. The Treehouse, where the culture lives. AKO Farms, located in Sitka, Alaska, built from the ground up with concentrates as their single motivation, with exclusive products such as their sugar wax, full spectrum diamond sauce carts, and more. Ask your local bud tender about AKO.
Marijuana has intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming and addictive. Marijuana impairs concentration, coordination, and judgment. Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence. There are health risks associated with consumption of marijuana. For the use of only by adults 21 and older. Keep out of the reach of children, and marijuana should not be used by women who are pregnant or breastfeeding.
The Bait Shack, located on Ship Creek upstream of the bridge. Can't miss the bright red shack. They are the go-to fishing gear rental and guide service on Ship Creek. Tight lines and fish on. Come hook into the action with them. Hit them up at thebaitshackak.com.
Lawn Pro AK, Alaska's year-round professional property maintenance team. Services include weekly lawn care, custom landscaping, fertilizing, weed control, turf repair, and more. Schedule your free estimate at lawnproak.com.
Alaska's OG cider company, Double Shovel, crafting gluten-free colonial-style ciders, founded as a healthier, non-inflammatory brew option. Drop by their Pop and Tap room in Anchorage off of 58th and Arctic, or visit the second location in Kodiak. Double Shovel, award-winning ciders.
The Alaska chapter of Backcountry Hunters and Anglers, BHA, is the voice of our Alaskan public lands, waters, and wildlife. Their goal is to uphold our hunting and fishing legacy while keeping our public lands wild. Stand up today and join BHA at backcountryhunters.org.
Should you not claim to be at least his equal in prowess and act upon the claim? I say try. If we never try, we shall never succeed. This proposition is a simple truth, and it's too important to be lost sight of for a moment. If we cannot beat the enemy where he now is, we never can. It is all easy if our troops march as well as the enemy, and it is unmanly to say they cannot do it.